for impeachment of judges who have opposed the administration. So how are those two things not in conflict?
I have not heard the president talk about impeaching judges. I know you mentioned Mr. Musk's tweet, but I have not heard the president of the United States ask that. Mary.
Hey, thanks, Caroline. I wanted to ask about this video I saw this morning set to the tune of, I believe, Closing Time, about deportations of illegal migrants. What's the strategy behind the White House?
I don't know who the panel verse is. I imagine the panel verse doesn't know who I am, but you say, hit that like button. John's a good man. He is. Shout out to you, panel verse.
I met the panel verse on Tommy Kemper's show the other day. That may be where it came from. I'm not sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Putting out on this, and can you kind of talk us through the thinking on these videos?
Sure. I think the White House and our entire government clearly is leaning into the message of this president. And we are unafraid to double down and to take responsibility and ownership of the serious decisions that are being made. The president was elected with an overwhelming mandate to launch the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. And that's exactly what he is doing. And to this very day, we are now, I think, 56 or 7 days into the administration by my count. The president still receives an overwhelming public support for the policies that he is enacting. So we are unafraid to message effectively what the president is doing on a daily basis to make our communities safer. And the specific video you referenced, I think it sums up our immigration policy pretty well. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Go ahead.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions. First, will President Trump put sanctions on Russia if the talks on Tuesday don't go as hoped? And secondly, have any illegal immigrants self-deported through CBP home yet?
To your first question, it's something the president has floated, and certainly he's willing to do if necessary. I don't have anything to read out, and I would never get ahead of the president on such a serious decision. To your second question about the CBP Home app, I would have to check in with the department.
I'm going to pause there, and we're going to hop into some of the coverage of Trump deporting hundreds of Venezuelans, and they end up out there in El Salvador with Bukele.
Well, my only problem with this, Portia, is that it's only supposed to be for a year. I'm not sure what that means. Like, up to a year. What does that mean? They could be held for 3 months and then let go? I'm not sure.
Well, you know, as Caroline Levitt said it so beautifully, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Can't stay here.
Wasn't there a song like that too? Wasn't there a song?
You know, 12th Man. You know, I am a Negro, and I would say
it was a white boy song.
as a Negro, I've heard that throughout my life. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here, you know, and so that I felt that.
Up out of here. Up out of here.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up out of here, you know. And 12th Man, you know me. I feel no ways tired. Shout out to Hillary Clinton. I feel no ways about it. You know, you gotta go. You gotta go. So
well, my worry is, Portia, is that they'll keep them locked up for a year and then let them go, and then if Democrats win next time, they'll be right back. Unless we get some legislation passed.
I mean, I'd imagine after being held in Bukele's prison, 12th Man, that's what do they call it? Like rehabilitation. I truly believe that what Bukele is doing down there in El Salvador, either you'll die before your sentence is over, or if you make it through your sentence, for be it 3 months, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months,
and
or more.
Portia,
I don't see them making it.
If you look if you look up what that prison looked like not even 5 years ago, it's nothing. You see how it's all clean and freshly painted and everything in there to make it look humane, but it wasn't like that a few years ago. It didn't
Well, you know, a few years ago, they dropped, you know, their video, whatever, and maybe I can find that to play that for you guys. But I have a news clip, and then I'll play the clip that President Bukele posted on his Twitter, showing all of the Trende Wagwa folks coming in from the most recent transfer with Trump. So we'll get into that. Like I told you guys, I'm not trying to talk too much. I'm just trying to give you the news. We won't 12 men to talk more. So
a legal showdown underway over President Trump's deportations of hundreds of Venezuelans to El Salvador over the weekend.
Can you hear it, 12 men?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
President Trump invoked a 200-year-old act that gives the president wartime powers to deport undocumented immigrants with little to no due process.
The federal judge temporarily blocked the deportation, saying it is unclear if the Alien Enemies Act applies, but the flights took off anyway. John Fenolio reports.
Shackled, their heads shaved, and shipped out of the country. Hundreds of Venezuelan immigrants in the U.S. deported to a mega prison in El Salvador.
We removed in one day over 200 dangerous people, including MS-13. It was right there in the street. I see the video that President Bukele put out. It's a beautiful thing.
The Trump administration claims they were violent gang members. But the deportations have put the Trump White House squarely at odds with a court order issued before at least one of the planes had taken off. A federal judge ordered the flights be turned around Saturday after questioning the president.
So we're going to go ahead and pause here briefly so that we can go into the video that Bukele put out. And I'll just play it in full so you guys can see it in the event that you haven't seen it already. I don't know what you guys have or have not seen.
I'm seeing almost all of the deportation process recently.
Yeah, so like,
far.
you know, if you guys just look up ICE raids or if you just kind of search up Bukele, Trump getting them up out of here, and the judge saying, no, you can't do that. But they were almost there. You know, it was mid-flight that they were getting ready to land, and you know, it was too late.
Trump ain't turning around shit, man. Just like
it was too late.
Telling him, like, how is a judge in charge of the border? It's ridiculous. And now they're trying to tell Trump how to run the military. I mean, that's the commander-in-chief. How is the judge going to get in the way of the commander-in-chief when it comes to the military? I don't think that's constitutional at all.
Well, fortunately, in this situation, the judge didn't get in between. And another fortunate thing is that President Bukele out of El Salvador had his crew. Shout out to the urban landlord, HB2N, John Galt, now a part of us on a more consistent basis, Universal Jones, Stanley Cross, of course. I love Stanley so much. Shout out to Stanley. I see him in the chat. And then Get Crack, my most favorite Asian in the existence of life. All of the wonderful people that I have the opportunity to work with, you guys are the best. And I love you guys all very much. Y'all are really great. Hit the like if you haven't done so already. If you would like to sponsor the show, you'll see the Cash Apps here in the banner scrolling at the bottom. And, you know, make sure you guys come back because Stanley, he's always here. He's always here. And then, of course, you have HB in the mornings. John will hop up, and now you have HB John and Universal, and then Crack he's Asian. He talks, the way that math and numbers and money talks. And so charting the course with Get Crack. Stanley versus the World, Gone Trucking with HB2N. You'll also have the Morning Roast with HB2N, John Galt, and Universal Jones. John Galt.
No
it's
more
just John
gun
Galt, the urban
trucking
landlord.
portion.
No, you'll be gone trucking tomorrow for the next 2 days, 12th May. So, we are a network that has, just different segments, just as if you paid for cable, which you shouldn't, but if you are, you just have a network that hosts different shows. They have different segments within that network. And so that's what we're trying to do here at the Urban Landlord. So just want to send love out to all of you guys. Hey, and look at that. Shout out to Stank D. Stank D says shout out to Stank D. Shout out to you, Stank D.
Shout out, Stank
Yeah, I
D.
just wanted to make sure I said that to you guys. Like I said, I'm trying not to talk much, but 12th man, 12th man ain't really talk. He ain't really talking that much while I'm trying to get news, but he's
I've
here.
been trying to,
And-
I find it hard to talk while an article's playing because other people might be trying to listen. So I try not to talk over whatever you're playing, right?
12th man, have you had any wine tonight?
Just a wee bit. Laugh.
We will. Okay. Okay. Shout out to 12th man, everybody. Richard, I know you know because you know me so well, Richard. Your thoughts are mine. We're on the same page. Okay, so let's 12th man, if you can't hear it, please let me know. So this is
How about you? Have
footage.
you had any wine tonight?
No, I haven't. I'm just I wasn't planning on talking or saying anything. I was just trying to, play videos. Like the political news, for ultimately it was more so about the astronaut landing, but just
Well, it
covering
could
some
be
other
more
things
like
that you guys
Solid
might want to hear.
Snake. Portia could
Yeah.
be more like Solid Snake and just over talk everything what you're playing, but I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
and that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, like the last time
I'm
I
trying to
did it,
listen
like
too.
yeah, of course, listen too, of course, but
And if your mouth is moving, you're not listening, right?
yeah, but Snake, he's a little bit different. He can be doing 10,000 things at once, talking, listening, and everything like that. But I thought that he did a really, really great job, and he helped me out a lot because I didn't want to be up here talking and stuff. So we will go ahead and of course, 12th man, it's you. So that's because it's you. So I'll go ahead and play this video. And this is the arrival of, and this is a video posted by President Bukele out of El Salvador. The arrival of the prisoners
Mass
that
murderers,
Trump,
shit like that.
rapists, sex offenders, traffickers,
Child
beheaders.
abusers.
Yes, they don't have
Yeah,
any.
They do. They
Any good
actually
names.
cut people's heads off. I've seen this one post on Facebook where they even cut them open and smeared their guts everywhere, all over a bridge, and let them hang off a bridge like that. Fucking horrific what these people do. To have
Yeah,
a
if Juan
penniless
Pacheco,
judge.
shout out to Juan Pacheco. He is our half Black Puerto Rican, albino, and blind. Talk about
Yeah, one.
DEI.
Shout out one.
But Juan, because he doesn't vote properly, he doesn't get the DEI things. Not that he needs it or anything like that. Juan is great, but Juan could tell you guys so many stories about the things that he sees where he's at here in the great state of Texas. beheadings, that's light work. That's
Oh, yeah.
easy. You can be
Oh, yeah.
walking through the parking lot and see a penny or a quarter. You might see $1, you might see a 20. It's normal as seeing stories or with your own eyes,
I've been
someone's
seeing
head
that shit go
on a
on
light
for
pole.
years, Portia. Years
So
and
they
years
want to
this
see.
shit has been going on.
Nonetheless, Stanley.
What's
Stanley.
he talking about now?
Tropes. I miss all of you guys. It's so good to see all of you. So we're gonna get into this video, and this is going to be again, President Bukele out of El Salvador. All of the illegals that are monsters arriving at
Stanley's Hero.
Bukele's prison. Yeah, it's quite a
new
sight to
show
see.
called Stanley's Heroes. Because
We
he
have Stanley
stands
versus
with the
Stanley
judge.
versus the world. With Stanley versus the world, it's just I don't think that you can really, that's just what it is. It's Stanley. So let's take a look.
He don't stand with the judge, though. He stands with the illegal.
I see all positive things so far. It's all positive. Lock them up. Yeah, lock them up. That's what I see.
Of course, that president would figure out how to film vertical. I mean, horizontal.
What'd you say, 12th man?
Well, I figured it'd be nice if the president would figure out how to flip his camera to the side so it would be, horizontal instead of vertical.
Yeah, this is just the
Anyway.
best that we got, Yeah.
Anyway,
You know,
we
beyond
got
that,
what we got.
everything that we're seeing so far, it all looks good. It looks like I've never gotten on a plane where I was traveling somewhere and I got off and I got to walk, down some stairs off the plane. That seems pretty high dollar, first class. Seems really nice. I understand that they're going to prison. I mean, but at least you got you got to fly. I'm pretty sure they offered you water and snacks, even though you were, in handcuffs and things like that, and that's nice, but even still, like, you might have had your handcuffs behind your back, but they put them to the front of you, and so you were able to eat your pretzels. I'm a crayon apple on the plane, so they, having their crayon apple, you can have your ice chips or not, maybe some coffee, water, Diet Coke, just the usuals, whatever the case may be. But whenever they land, it's very exclusive. It's really nice and exclusive the way that they're getting off of this plane. It's like having your own private plane, and they actually did, and they're getting to walk down. But whenever they find themselves getting closer to the end of that stairway, they're being, greeted friendly. I see this as friendly. You guys know I'm a Southerner. This is a nice Southern greeting. They're gonna
with your head down,
grab you and put your head
down.
Yeah, nobody wants to see your face. We're just gonna throw you in the gulag, and that's how it should be. And beyond all, beyond what we're seeing right now, for those of you out there, and I know that those of you here at the Urban Landlord, you guys are good, decent humans that love your country and you don't want it to be overran by illegals. you would find appreciation in seeing what happened afterwards. And I guess if we want to be honorable, the fact that they got pretzels and cran apple during the flight. For me, there wouldn't be any seats in the plane. It would be completely gutted. There would be no oxygen mask. I would not even follow protocol for what it is that flight attendants do to let you know about the oxygen mask falling down, or your seat belt if you're in the emergency lane, with the door, whatever the case may be. I do not care. Yes, I am on this plane, but myself, as well as the crew, to include the pilot and co-pilot, we have parachutes. You do not. If anything happens, good luck. They be glad they landed safely for me. For me,
I would
'cause
like to,
if you're a killer, I don't, if you're a nuisance, I don't want to pay
Yeah.
for it, and I don't want to pay for it. So that's just me. Richard, shout out to Richard. Don't pressurize the cabin, of course. Absolutely not. Yeah, no. Yes, flight attendants were here, armed, of course. The marshal here armed, of course. It is what it is, and no seatbelts for you. You might be getting tugged around here and there. It might not be as comfortable, but at least you got some pretzels and some cran apple. I don't know what it is.
on my
If
way.
you
Yeah.
have ever had Minute Maid fruit punch, or tropical punch, or Minute Maid cranberry, or Minute Maid cranberry apple, cranberry grape, it tastes different. You have the plastic bottle, it tastes one way, and then you have that cardboard bottle, or the cardboard jug, it tastes one way, and then you have the cans, and the only time I've ever seen a can is on the plane, and it is just so divine. But if you want to try to compare it or get something close enough, you want to get the cardboard, and it's divine. But the Minute Maid and the plastic, it just doesn't hit the same. But because they are able to have such nice things, I don't get to have cran apple Minute Maid in a can every day. Or even, it's probably a couple of times a year. So they got more than what they deserved, if you ask me. Stank D says, Portia, Trump is Genghis Khan today. Well, yeah, I guess we could say that, Stank D, but let's get into some more of this, and I will cover a couple of more things from just the...
Portia, I was gonna say I liked it better. I liked it better when they were getting loaded in the back of C-130s and being flown out. That's a better look than this first class bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's their last taste of America, so I guess,
Yeah.
And
the whole thing is first class, but you know what? At least they are where they are, 12th man, and all we can do is be grateful that they're no longer here. That's
3,000 more to go, I think. And Tom
tens of
Homan
thousands more to go. Mhm.
Yeah, Tom Homan said the planes are going to keep flying. He doesn't give a shit what that activist judge says in D.C., basically.
Mhm.
I think the Supreme
Yeah,
Court's
yeah.
going to have to step in on a few of these cases.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court, for all of the things that they've been saying about the Supreme Court and all of their rulings for the last 3 weeks at least, they've not been in Trump's favor. So, the left, they say what they say about the Supreme Court being, and of course, factually, yes, it is majority conservative. However, they've not been voting that way. And Trump has not had the favor of the Supreme Court in his
What
corner.
rulings are that?
You said what?
What rulings are that?
What ruins is that?
Yeah, what rulings are
Oh,
they,
you said rulings. What rulings? Okay, so you had
rulings.
Trump fighting against the judge that for this particular story.
No, that hadn't
To
went
return
to
them.
the Supreme Court.
Oh no,
This hasn't
it
went
came
to
down.
the Supreme Court
No,
yet.
it did today. It did today.
Oh,
It
it
came
did
down today.
today?
Yes, it did. It did today.
And they said
Much
that
earlier.
Trump can't deport illegal immigrants.
They
Basically.
ruled in of a not a federally elected but a federally appointed judge that they do have their rights as their position to make the ruling, and because Trump was saying no, they can't, this, that, or whatever, because they were appointed, but the Supreme Court, they did not uphold it. What else have they ruled against? I mean, there's so many things. I wasn't, again, prepared to speak about anything tonight.
I was
So,
just kidding.
you guys, please forgive me. I'm really only supposed to be showing things and not talking about anything.
My bad, Portia.
No, it's okay. We had Amy Coney Barrett just a few weeks ago. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I do not want to have any of these things. Robert says calls to impeach judges who ruled against Trump. This was just 6 hours ago. For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. This normal appeal will be in review. Process exists for that purpose.
Yeah.
And then from 2 hours ago, Trump has been rebuked by all Supreme Court
John
justices.
Roberts saying that.
Checks and balances. MAGA thinks Supreme Court will allow them to do certain things, but they've been rejected at every turn. So, the left, they always talk about how the Supreme Court is always in Donald Trump's favor, but it is not. That is not the case by any stretch of the imagination. Trump has been getting more pushback than not, and all of these things, but whatever, it's all said and done. These folks, because we're going to go ahead and finish out this video that Bukele posted. For the roughly 300 people that arrived, they're there, okay, and they're staying. And it is what it is. Oh, shout out to Trump.
Put that head down, boy. Seems like a lot of trouble when you could just line them up and shoot them. Save that head in a minute. That head down, you little bitch. You're so tough now, huh? Look at you now, you little cunt.
Nombre. César Eliseo Sotomaya.
Get the fuck out of here, you little bitch. We go gangster now, huh? Thank you, Tom Harmon. You are a true patriot. getting up out of here. And since we don't have to keep them in Gitmo, they don't have jurisdiction over there. U.S. courts don't, so you got to worry about the Gitmo thing no more, because they can go to El Salvador instead. And Tom Homan has stated that the flights will continue regardless of this idiotic judge's ruling. Even my mama, who is a hardcore Democrat, is against these people being here and is all for it. So that tells you something right there, that even Democrats are in favor of this, and these activist judges are way out of their league. They're trying to act like they're the executive branch when they're not. They're not part of this shit. Said deport that goddamn judge too. If it was me, I'd be a real fascist. If it was me up in
Stanley
that White
says,
House.
Portia, the courts are going to be Trump's nemesis. Oddly enough. And Stanley, you are correct. That is what's been, or I mean, that's what I've been seeing, you know, and it's like, hey, that's just what it is. That's what's going on. But not to ignore it and not to point it out and bring it to light. And then, of course, Stanley on Stanley versus the World, he comes on at about 2 a.m. I don't know if that's 3 a.m. his time, 2 a.m. my time, or 1 a.m. my time, 2 a.m. his time. But you guys know, I know y'all have y'all's notifications turned on. And if you don't, go ahead and make sure that you
It's like 11
subscribe and
o'clock
turn on
my
all
time.
turn on all notifications. Stanley, he gets into all of these things and he talks about the importance of these things, and Stanley gives you all of the facts and stuff. And like I said, not too much commentary for myself, but
You don't
we'll
really
go ahead and
believe
finish
that
this.
portion.
No, I mean, I do believe it. He does. Even though, you know, we come
Stanley
from
doesn't
two
deal
different
in
sides.
facts, portion. Come on.
I mean, I don't want to say that, 12th man, because although we come from two different political sides of the aisle, you know, where I look and I start, like, I'm on the Gateway Pundit, you know, Daily Watch, you know, where I'm getting my news, and then Stanley, he gets his where he gets his from. And so I think that, you know, for be it about being right or wrong because of our opinions and our feelings towards one side or the other, I believe that, you know, whenever Stanley, he presents his news, he presents news at the very least. You know, of course he'll do pop the balloon, but like beyond that, Stanley, I know he much rather talk about things like this than pop the balloon, you know, so, but he does it, you know,
Yeah.
the engagement,
Well,
things like that.
let's just
But,
say
you know,
I-
for his position, I'm not going to discount his position and his understanding and his experience and his knowledge and his, you know, research, reading, studying, things like that. It's just, we just have two different,
Yeah.
you know, purviews
Well,
of
I was
the
going to
news.
say, Portia, I do like his perspective. I'll leave it at that. I do enjoy Stanley's perspective.
Yes, and I know that Stanley's hard on you, 12th man. He is. He's really hard on you. He kicks you off. He talks to you pretty crazy, but you know what, 12th man? You know, I love you with all my heart. I really do.
I love you too,
Heart in my
Portia.
soul. I do. I really do. And one thing
Even
that I
Stanley,
admire the
even
most,
though,
and I know
even
you
though
love
he's a
Stanley too.
dickhead sometimes, you
Yeah,
know,
sometimes,
we all are.
but you know what?
Me
Yes, all
too.
of us are, but you know what? Even though things may happen, it hasn't ran you off the channel and you always come back. And so
Yeah.
to me, that's a testament of your character and
Especially
your
when
strength.
you're here.
It's a true
You, John
testament.
Gall, y'all are
Yeah,
always
that's a
real
testament to
friendly to
me,
me. So
because anybody that can handle Stanley, you can handle anything in life.
forget
You know,
crap.
you might be on stage 4 cancer, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, any type of cancer. And it seems
Yeah.
like you're just on your way out, you know, and you feel like you fought every single battle in life. And there could be no other battle in life that you've ever fought that would be more, you know, severe and tragic and possibly even fatal in your life. But then you meet Stanley Cross. And it's like, what's cancer? You still might die. Yeah, you still might die, but the battle is harder whenever you face Stanley Cross. Shout out to Stanley. You know, Stanley, it doesn't, if it's me, I'm different. But for everybody else that dares to go against it, Stanley will prove to you that whatever you're going through, that this is going to be worse. You better prove yourself. And you use that moment with Stanley as a lesson of overcoming and making peace with things. And you'll be okay in every other aspect of your life. That's just Stanley. That's just what he does. Shout out to Stanley.
I'm at
boring is not
peace
your
knowing
talent.
that Stanley doesn't have all the facts that he thinks he has. I'm very at peace with that.
Oh, tough man. I am not getting into any of that. We're going to finish playing this. We're going to finish playing this video so I can go ahead and head up
Can
out of
have
here.
you smile today. That's awesome.
Oh, Dolph man, thank you so much. Thank you.
Use of the 1798 Aliens Enemies Act, the centuries-old wartime law that allows deportations with little to no due process. The last time the U.S. used the act was during World War II to incarcerate tens of thousands of people with Japanese heritage, including U.S. citizens.
I do think we are slipping closer and closer to a constitutional crisis.
The American Civil Liberties Union claims the Trump administration broke the law when it defied the judge's order Saturday.
So we think the Alien Enemies Act cannot be used in this context. But even if it could, what I told the judge today was that there must be individual due process. If a person does not believe they're a member of the gang, can show that, then they're not subject to the proclamation.
Attorneys for the Department of Justice, representing the Trump administration, arguing Monday that no deportation flights left the U.S. after the judge issued his order, and that the other planes were already in the air beyond the U.S.'s jurisdiction.
I can tell you this, these were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres.
Also arguing the administration is only bound to court orders that are in writing, not verbal ones issued from the bench.
We removed terrorists. That should be a celebration. We removed terrorists from this country. I stand by what the president did.
But at this point, it seems like the administration is simply walking into court and telling a federal court they can't look at the evidence, they can't stop what they're doing, and we see constant public statements from administration officials criticizing federal judges, saying they don't have authority.
That federal judge wants answers to his questions about what the Trump administration knew about his order and when. He's given the White House a deadline to respond by noon tomorrow. Looking ahead, on Friday, both parties will be back in court to argue the merits of President Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act to carry out mass deportations. In the News Center, I'm John Fenolio. Back to you.
Hey, Portia, you think you could find that clip where Tom Homan said the flights are going to continue? He doesn't care what the judge says. There's something on that.
Yes, I'll look. I saw it too. I'll find it. Hi, Stanley.
What up, Stanley?
Hey, Portia. Hey, 12, man. You know, once again, I'm kind of sitting here. You know, I've been listening
Your
for a
mic's
while.
a little off, Stanley.
You know what? Let me switch to my laptop. That mic's better. But I need to, kind of do some clarification here. And I kind of had this conversation this morning. I read and listen to a lot of right of center and even farther to the right. Bottom line is I actually am interested in the ideas. And, I actually, there's a reason that that people like John Roberts and the judges, there have to be rules, and the rule happens to be the Constitution. And either you follow the Constitution or you don't. And Trump wants to basically do this unitary executive thing. And there are people on the right who are actually thinkers who don't agree with what Trump is doing. So, you can do the rah-rah and Tom Homan this, Tom Homan that. It's unimpressive. And the problem with what Trump is doing is at some point, there are going to be, Democrats who are back in power, and they're going to do the same thing. I'm more worried about the precedent. If Trump can do it, so can Democrats.
That's where
So, there are slippery slopes.
Stanley.
I'm sorry,
Joe
what?
Biden totally ignored the judges. on
Fuck Joe
student
Biden,
loans.
and Biden isn't president now, if you haven't noticed.
Well, real quick, if I can
But
cut
you
in.
always like to say, but you're complaining about
Dude,
Trump doing
you know what?
something
I'm
that
not
Joe Biden
interested in
did.
your drunken, I'm not interested in the drunken perspective. I'm more interested in your
Yeah,
thinking.
that's what you always
So
say.
try that.
Well, real quick, if I can cut in before the fighting continues. Stanley, this is one of those areas where I agree with you, but at the same time, I think what Trump is doing right now, I would argue, this is just my weird theory, he's creating the controversy, right? He's setting up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me. I'm going to drop out and come right back on my laptop because the acoustics are better. Be right back.
Okay.
What were you saying, Juan?
Well, this is going to be one of those where I'm going to end up repeating it, but I think that Trump is creating the controversies. There are certain things that I don't agree with, but what that does, real quick, even though I voted for Trump, it proves that
Well,
number
me
one.
too. I don't agree with everything Trump is doing.
Right. But what it shows is that MAGA is not a monolith. Thank goodness. But more importantly, I think what's going on is some of these radical decisions that he's making, perceived radical decisions that he's making, it's creating the controversy. Basically, he's
Your
forcing
mic breaking up real bad, Juan. Fix the mic, fellas. How's mine sound, Portia? Okay. One in the chat.
I am
is
so sorry.
my,
I'm so sorry. 12th man, you sound good. Juan, you sound. Hold on, wait. I think Juan is frozen. Juan doesn't. He doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like he's really close to the mic, and he probably needs to
Garbled.
pull away from the mic a little bit. We have Rashu in the building. We usually don't see Rashu unless we're
We got
talking about
Rashu.
crypto or stocks or things like that. So, y'all know I ain't talking about none of that. So shout out to Rashu and Juan. And Juan, this, I'm just saying this, and we don't have to go any further, but it was great seeing you in the meeting tonight. We learned some things. And it's always nice to learn some things. And that's always good. We can't ever shy away from learning things. Mrs. Helen, hi, Mrs. Helen. She says, but Biden doing it sets a precedent too. And then Trump says, why should they be treated within the bounds of law when they're not legal citizens? They're being protected like they're citizens. Rashu says he be lurking. Well, Rashu, it is very nice to know that you still come around every now and again. Juan is back. I don't know if you heard me when I was just saying, we don't need to go into it any thoroughly, but it was good seeing you at the meeting tonight. As
Likewise.
always, you'll ask the questions that, we might be thinking, but we might not ask, but you will. And of course, at the conclusion of the meeting, whenever we were talking about, hey, they're not really feeling him. Yeah. Yeah. So, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, you got my contact
like
information.
Juan, that was such a hard pull to do. It's just like, hey, okay, hey guys, we got this going on. However, but
Well,
I
the question
do
that I
always
had,
get excited seeing you guys.
the question that I had, it was funny when the lovely young lady asked it in the chat. I'm like, dude, they already answered it. Why are you asking?
Yeah, you know how it goes. It just be like that sometimes. But shout out to Juan. We get on these panels, we have conversations and things like that. We share certain things with you guys, maybe not too much, and sometimes maybe too much, but there are real life things that we actually do offline. And Juan is a real one. Shout out to Juan. We have Stanley back in the building. Yes, we have Badass in the building. Hey, Badass.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, Badass, how you doing,
but
buddy?
Stanley, I'm gonna mute up because we've already talked about it. I already told you I really wasn't trying to talk too much, but I wanted to say this to you really quickly.
Sure.
There's some things that I've seen from my side of the aisle, and I did play a video earlier. Now, I don't know if this is like Trump, on his like get back or whatever the case may be. But Stanley, I will say, when I saw the story about him revoking Secret Service from Hunter and Ashley Biden, it's just like, okay, yep. Okay. But I've never seen that before. And I was going to look it up earlier, but I had a really busy day at work and I wasn't able to. But it's just like any child, of a former president, they always have Secret Service,
What made it funny for me, but also concerning at the same time was what made it funny for me, but concerning at the same time was Hunter Biden was in South Africa when his Secret Service detail got revoked.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, for whatever it is, all right, his dad pardoned him. I get it, but it's a former president's, son, and so like if I go back and I look at like Obama and Sasha Amalia, even in the talks of Michelle Obama's brother and his children, or if you go back to Clinton and Hillary and their daughter, and just back and back, like these people, they have that. They have the Secret Service protection for a reason, and I would, no matter our politics or what have you, I would hate to see something happen to Hunter or Ashley.
They can afford their own security service.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but it's just your own security and then American Secret Service. I think it's different. I think it's different. You can't pay for that.
No, it is different. The reason why 12th man real quick is because you look at Hunter Biden, his new wife, his what, fourth or sixth wife or whatever. I'm joking. Don't take that seriously. But his new wife is South African. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Portia, you would stand with please correct me because I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe she's a part of what's known as Afrikaans, the white people that are in South Africa. And her family owns a lot of land out there. And we know exactly what's happening with people that own land out there.
There's ex-CIA Delta forces that are free agents now that can protect them. They don't need to be sucking off the U.S. taxpayer.
We would still be paying for the Delta Force and Secret Service 12th man. That's the problem.
And I'm also Juan. Let me put my glasses back on. We can hear you. I don't know if it's your mic, but like at some points it sounds like you're really close to the mic.
Yeah,
so
that's
me.
That's me.
Okay.
It's I'm doing 15 million things at once because again, like I mentioned a month ago, and now it's coming in full swing because the money's coming in, Portia. When Trump signed those executive orders for immigration, again, that's my profession.
Hold on, wait. Juan, the money's coming in now?
Well, this week, yeah. The money's coming in this week.
Okay, Juan, let's just hey guys, I'm so sorry. We have to do this. For those of you that know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. But Juan this is a very hardworking man here, and he's our attorney. And, you know, I'm just so happy to hear it because he deserves it. Let's give Juan a round of applause and a dance party with Beyonce. Yeah. Kamala, you're still fired. You're still fired.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired.
Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Beyonce.
Shout out to Juan.
Beyonce.
What y'all?
Carry on.
Dance party with Beyonce. Beyonce. 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 Hold up. Dance party with Beyonce.
That's all of you in the building tonight.
Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Beyonce.
All right, we have to. I just had to celebrate. Why? Y'all go ahead.
Well, I was just saying what it is. Portia, I'm close to my mic sometimes because I'm looking at the immigration.
Hold on, wait. Let me see, because it's kind of.
Now you can take all that money and buy a new microphone.
Once I get paid, I have to
much better, Stanley.
Let me see. Oh, he muted up. Hey, Juan. Okay, I just fixed your mic. Can you say something really quick?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah. So, like, Juan, if you hop down and just hop down and come back up, and we might be good.
I got you.
Richard's a robot. Stanley, please go ahead.
Well, no, I was basically gonna. I was just going to say that, you know, we are on different sides, but I wouldn't necessarily even call them sides. You know, it's kind of different outlooks on life. And it's not that, you know, I don't know what MAGA, but I tend to look a layer or two above, say, the New York Post. You know, I tend to look at something like a National Review, you know, at that level. I'm much more interested in why Trump thinks that he can do this stuff. I'm more interested in learning about the unitary executive. You know, that it's kind of like a legal theory. And I don't agree with it. And the problem is that a lot of people like a John Roberts or you know, people of that ilk, agree or disagree. I think the courts are going to wind up being Trump's biggest problem because they care about the Constitution. And that you want, you know, I think, you know, we literally went in last night or the night before and looked at the aliens, the enemy, what is it, Aliens Enemy Act, or the other way around. We literally,
the Aliens Enemies Act, yeah.
And the thing is when I didn't think Trump could do it, and then we went in and looked at it, and I think Trump can do it.
I don't know.
Isn't there something in the Illegal Aliens Act?
Don't care. Go read it. My point is that the way
anything about the judiciary in that amendment, does it? No, it doesn't.
Okay,
It's not an amendment, 12th
dude,
Amendment.
go eat snow.
Or act or whatever.
Okay, I think he can. I think he can do it. I think the Enemy Aliens Act can be done. He has that authority. The problem is going to be where it intersects with due process, and I think the bigger problem is reading it. I think it assumes that if you're going to deport, you're going to send them back to their home country. The problem is sending them to El Salvador to a year's hard labor without due process.
That's their neighborhood.
Okay, being a member of the gang doesn't mean you've done anything illegal.
And that's just because
you cannot send
Most
somebody.
of them are
You
convicted of
cannot.
crimes and then let go.
All I have to
Let
say
Stanley
is
talk real quick, buddy. I'm sorry.
you can't send a person to another country to do a year's hard labor and not know whether they've done something to deserve the sentence or not. That is the problem. He can deport, but it's what happens after you deport that, in my mind, is the problem.
Well, Stanley, real quick before I
let's just
comment, how's my mic,
sorry.
guys? I'm sorry.
Still a little spotty, but go ahead because I'm interested in what you think. You actually
It's
do
better.
know this stuff.
So before you go on, I wanted to say, like, Stanley, I can't remember exactly what it was that you said, but like as it pertains to, well, because Stanley, you know me and you know how we are. So like whenever it comes to like, different being on different sides of the aisle, there's so many things that we understand and we can talk about and we see, just from like a life standpoint. And whenever I was telling you about, or even just mentioning, things that we talk about behind the scenes, but even like the whole taking the Secret Service away from Hunter Biden, like I don't agree with that. I don't.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
don't
a
know
bad
the point
look.
of it.
At a minimum, it's a bad look. I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with the vindictiveness. It doesn't look good.
I'd like to know what's behind the history of the Secret Service providing protections for like their kids.
It's like
and
they're kids.
uncles
I just
and
feel like
Well, Hunter
maybe not
Biden's
like,
not exactly a
aunts
kid,
and
but
uncles,
the thing is that
well, he's acting like
look,
a kid.
they are historical figures. Let's just put it that way, or connected
Exactly.
to historical figures. Taking a Hunter Biden and holding him hostage, that's possible. So
and that's the problem.
I don't leave it. I
It's
don't
just like,
leave it
I'm
to
kind of okay with that.
right. Let me
He
just
can
make
hang around Joe
it
Biden.
short. I would rather talk to a Portia on the right or a Juan on the right. I leave that populist rabble talk to the 12th men. I'll just
Well,
be
why
blunt.
can't Hunter just hang around his dad?
You know what?
Then
You
they'll
know
have
what?
all kinds
What
of
you need to do
Secret
is
Service.
you need to take yourself out of that cabin and read, something that will answer your questions.
Well, the thing is this real quick.
I feel like I hear what you're saying. It's just something about the fact that it's just like a former president's child, and like I said,
Well, the
forgive me 'cause I
problem is the
wasn't,
precedent.
speaking. I just don't feel like a former president's child.
Mhm.
Exactly, it's the precedent, and it's just like
If
why would we
the
do this?
next
I don't
the
under-
next
I don't get it.
Democratic president, if they can go, well, Trump did it.
And we have no
Right,
defense
exactly.
at
And
that
so,
point.
Juan,
Well,
excuse me.
Exactly.
Solid Snake,
afford
can
their
I put
own
you in the chat? Solid
security.
Snake, I would like to. We're going to go
That's
ahead and
not
hear
the
from
point.
expert
Okay,
here.
Biden.
We have our
No,
we
well,
have our expert
I'll mute.
Juan, and we want to hear from Juan. Solid Snake, shout out to you. But Juan, please go ahead.
Well, and to Stanley's point, 12th man, the problem is Hunter Biden, Chelsea Clinton, Jenna and Laura Bush, the daughters of George W. Bush,
Malia,
all of those people, Malia and Sasha Obama. I can't talk right. Sorry, the Smirnoff's in my system. But
That's
the problem
okay.
is,
No, go ahead.
The problem is they are the equivalent of the bishops on the chessboard. You don't want to sacrifice those. That's the problem. And so the last thing that we want is, for example, the Ayatollah of Iran, or God forbid, the new guy that's, heading Syria going, ha ha, we got your president's kids. Now what are you going to do? And at that point, let me finish. Let me finish, 12th man. I'm sorry. The last thing that we want is for them to do that. And the reason why is because anybody, forget the Democrats or the Republicans for a moment. Anyone is a human. If that's my kid that you have hostage, I'm going to go come hell or high water. Stanley, you too. Portia, you too. You guys would go come hell or high water to get your kids. And if that means sacrificing a couple of policies when it comes to the governance of the United States, so be it. That's what makes that so dangerous.
Whataboutism, or what ifism? What
No,
if they were held
no,
hostage?
it is.
They're not
Dude.
being held hostage.
Okay, let me just, and damn it, I'm older than everybody. I have seen, even at my kind of young old manness, dude, this is what I find lacking. Being able to actually think your way through a problem. Okay, it feels good for Trump to go and take Hunter Biden's his Secret Service protection. Motherfucker, you need to listen. Well, there you go. See, this is your problem, 12 man. I ask you to think, and obviously it hurts to think. And I'll leave it at that.
About somebody's feelings. Shit. They're rich enough, they can afford their own security. What the hell?
That's not the point, 12th man. The point is that even whether they can afford their security or whether it's at our expense as taxpayers, the problem is for the time being, he has no security. And because he has no security and he's the former president's kid, that leaves him open, which by extension leaves us as a country
what about
open.
their kids? Do they get Secret Service too? Like forever? Like, is this a generational thing that every living member from some president is going to always have the Secret Service behind them? I mean, come on, man.
Democracy dies in dumbness, and I cannot express my disdain for the wasted time your education costs the taxpayer.
So since when are these dynasties always going to be allowed to have Secret Service protection, and their kids and their grandkids and their grandkids? Are they all
this is country
every single one of them? Every time one of them.
I'm surprised you call yourself. I'm surprised you call. Well, this motherfucker's gonna drone on. This is literally why This is why America's going down the drain. Your inability to think past your fucking wine
bottle. I don't want to pay for this dynasty's.
Motherfucker, you're not paying for shit. This is the other thing.
Lives after their families' lives. They all gotta have Secret Service protection. What a goddamn joke.
This is just gonna go on forever, and I'm wasting my time.
Go ahead, Stanley.
It looks like we have John Galt. I don't know if this is John or not. It could be one of us. So John says, 12th man. We also have John Galt in the building saying no one will be able to understand why America's going down the drain with you all talking over each other.
Fuck that bullshit. Dude, America's going down the drain because people like 12th man and Be Brave have a mic.
That ass. No, one
Unfortunately,
can calm it down.
unfortunately, I'm not inclined to be a Trump and
Not
cut
anymore.
them off
Is
or
that
take
why
their Secret
Democrats
Service
are
protection.
at an all-time low, Stanley?
Dude,
Democrats
you.
are at an
This
all-time
is
low
this is
because
the
of
good
people like
thing.
12 men.
This
Hey,
is the
Virgo.
good thing about America. I don't have to worry about you. You will take care of yourself.
How come Democrats are at an all-time low, Stanley? Tell
You
me
know
that.
what? And no, you didn't interrupt the Democrats' agenda.
And that's a CNN poll.
Smarter people did. We don't have to worry about people like you, 12th man.
No, you sure as hell don't.
Yep.
That little boy the fuck off in the middle of nowhere.
You know what? You will be in the middle of the woods blathering on a panel about shit you don't understand, but it makes you feel good.
Shit, I don't
Makes you feel good to take Secret Service protection, doesn't it?
Feel good to think you're better than another man, don't you?
Motherfucker, you're proving I am.
Off.
You are proving
Real quick,
that
if I can suck my dick.
If I can, yeah, know what? I expected you to say that.
Go ahead.
See,
Go ahead,
12 man,
Juan. Go ahead.
no. Hold on one sec. I need to make a point. What you don't like is someone on the left that's not afraid to tell you you're an idiot. I don't have to be polite. I need you to know who you are. No one has stepped up, 12th man, and told you. No one. No, you don't have to ask. I volunteer the information.
I didn't ask you about that, son.
But I'm going to tell you.
Why are Democrats at an all-time low approval rating, Stanley?
Who gives a
fuck?
fuck?
Can I get a straight answer?
The straight answer is idiots like you don't understand them.
It's a CNN poll, for fuck's sake.
Who gives a fuck about... Dude, I don't watch CNN.
But that's a leftist poll that says Democrats.
You know what?
are
I
down.
literally just said I
Lowest
don't watch
approval
CNN.
rating ever.
Oh, wait.
Why is that, Stanley?
I literally just
Come on,
said I
answer the
don't.
question.
The question
Answer the
is,
goddamn question.
you know, this is it. You won't let me answer because you don't want
All
to
right, go
know
ahead.
the answer. The answer is you keep watching CNN to sound as idiotic as you sound. Keep watching CNN.
What I thought. That's all you got on the
12th
phone?
man, yeah,
it?
that's all I got. All I got is you keep being you, 12th man. And America will ignore you. You will be in the dustbin of history.
Hold on, guys.
Motherfucker, you got no. God damn it! I will not hold on.
Hey, come on,
Dude, you will wind up in the dustbin of history.
Stanley, you're interrupting. This is Portia's show, right? Come on, let Portia on this show.
Okay, well, you know what?
Well, I wasn't
I came
intending on,
up
like,
here
talking,
in peace,
so-
and your little 12th man is a problem.
What's up, John Galt?
Stop interrupting me, God damn it, 12th man. You'll
we
do
got that
better.
stability up here. Come on, yeah, it's Portia's show here. You know?
No. You know
Don't
what?
worry.
I came up to talk to Juan, and this blithering idiot started
Lord.
interrupting.
Let's try to keep it
Don't
civil.
correct me. Correct the problem.
I'm not correcting anyone. I'm just saying, let's just try to keep it civil for the audience here. Just so
You know what?
they may like it though. But
When I come up to actually talk some sense, and this dude wants to talk CNN polls,
I
then
just know
you know
going.
what?
I haven't heard everything that's been going on. But Portia, what were you covering here? How you doing tonight?
I was just, I'm doing okay. I was just trying to cover like just the different news, the political news topics, but I didn't want to.
I saw
be
you
on the
covering the
panel talking about it as much, but it was just 12th man up here for a while, and I didn't want to leave 12th man hanging.
Yeah.
Should have left him hanging.
You said what?
He was actually cogent.
You saw me covering what?
Oh, I used to do that. I was listening. Portia, go ahead.
So just essentially like the thing, and then talking about France, the demand, saying that they're coming to take the Statue of Liberty back from us. President Bukele and the judge ordered to stop the transfer of the Trinidad gang members, but the order came down while the flight was already in the air, and so they went on ahead and proceeded to continue the flight, and now they are absolutely incarcerated for sure, without fail, in El Salvador, and that detailed greatly what it looked like whenever the planes from America arrived on their turf. Up for you if you would like to see it. Like I told you guys earlier, my intent was not to be up here talk. I was just going to play stuff, but obviously, that doesn't really work all that well. But nonetheless, I will show that video for John in the event that he hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I think I saw you talking about when they got off the plane. Portia, I just want to ask you a political question, if you don't mind me asking. Why would, other than the whole procedural, whatever with the prisoners, why would someone be against it otherwise, sending the prisoners back? Politically, what do you
I
get?
can tell you.
Okay, well, you have a reason. All right, go ahead.
Well, no, it's more a procedural thing, but Portia knows it as well as I do. It's a procedure problem.
Yeah, I'm saying beyond procedure, because, regular people don't really live in procedure world. They just like, well, they should be gone, right? They should be here, one of the two. I would imagine that the average American probably doesn't care enough about them to want them here. In terms of procedure, I just don't know what the opposition to Trump gains by opposing this.
The problem, the devil is in the details. I'll just leave it that. And, if Americans don't want to take the time to address the procedural problems, there is a constitution. There is literally, point A to point B. And, it feels good to send gang members to El Salvador. And if that's all that's needed, then to feel good, to make us great again, then, you know what? We will be that country.
It's not about feeling good, Stanley.
Motherfucker, you wouldn't.
Come on, Stanley.
Rapist out of this country.
Okay, if I have to be polite to idiots, then I don't need to be on this panel.
To the audio. It's just to the audience.
I literally just told him that the devil is in the details. Think from one point to another and think about the consequences of actions.
Well, I think we should pull the aliens enemies act up in detail.
You know what? I literally did that last night. I literally think that Trump is okay with the Aliens in Enemy Act. He can do it. He has the authority. The problem is the due process. You're sending Venezuelans to El Salvador into a prison without due process. He can do it, but should he?
I think the average American would say, "Who cares?"
You know what? The average American.
What do you think about the average American?
Okay,
I mean,
John,
Ross Party probably
you,
doesn't care.
you and 12th Man get to be the average American, and
Do you think the average person cares what these people are
no,
saying?
no, you're speaking for the average American. Apparently, you're the one who brought up the average American, not me.
Do you think the non-average American?
Well,
do you
how
think-
about I don't really care about the average American. You speak for the average American. I will let you think for them.
I mean, the elite. The elite
You know
people.
what? It's really not an elite issue. We're all subject to the same law, more or less, in theory.
Well, I think for the last years, those
I think when you start ignoring due process, it's a slippery slope.
I think, a lot of due process was ignored by allowing these people to come here, all the, hey, I ain't gonna litigate it, but I just think that they created a situation where
two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, they kind of cancel each other out.
No, I don't even believe they cancel each other out. I think they're additive.
Yeah,
my mom is
That's why I said slippery slope.
What you say, 12 Man?
My mom is a Democrat. She's a hardcore Democrat, and she's all for Trump ignoring that dumbass judge to get these criminals up out of here.
You don't know that they're criminals.
These Stanley Democrats are leaving you, man.
You know what, 12th Man?
I mean, the only thing that I would say
I
is that
tolerate you.
as far
Go ahead,
as Trump and the Venezuelans, the gang members, and things like that, whenever the judge handed down the ruling, the flight was already in the air, getting ready to land in El Salvador. So El Salvador, sorry, y'all know the country, it's been a while. So at that point, how much can you do? But I'll say that I've enjoyed seeing what President Bukele has been posting, and this is outside of America, just like what he has going on with his prison. It's just like, wow, he's really doing it. If you think of like a dog kennel, they're all in dog kennels. Everybody's wearing white, which is outside of the frame of the traditional orange or stripes that you have here in America. They're eating what they're eating. They're all on lockdown, 23 hours, or I would say, however they have their shifts. So it's like 22, let me just go to say 20 to 23 hours a day. And so they all get their 1 hour of like rec outside of their
Let me
kennel.
ask you a question,
But,
Portia.
they're
So say there is one person out of what was it, 150 or so? The only thing that
it was like
person
it was
did-
247 that got dropped
I
off.
don't care about the number. Let me finish my point.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Stanley.
You come into this country illegally, and that's all
Mhm,
you do.
mhm.
You're a
Bullshit
member.
like
You're a
that.
member of the. You're a member of the gang. You've committed no crime, but you have been identified as a member of this gang. Does that mean Does that mean that you wind up in El Salvador doing a year of hard labor? Is that justified?
Well, I
It
wouldn't
feels
say,
good.
I mean, if they've gotten here and they've not participated in the crime, so maybe back in Venezuela, that was their thing, but they
And
came
you know
here.
what? That's the
They left
other due process problem. They're not back in their home country.
Well, they're close enough to it for my
Yeah,
case.
close enough
From America.
enough for the average American like you.
Yeah, they're far away from here. I'm glad.
Oh, my
All I'm
baby is
saying,
okay.
all I'm saying
But you
is
said
that,
sex
you know,
crossed over
sending,
the week, so-
all I'm saying is that these are slippery slopes, and what comes around goes around, and feeling good now, it's empty calories.
Slippery slope.
Stanley is it.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Support 12 Man. Come on. What I think, honestly, is Those people had fair warning. They knew what was coming. The 12th man. We don't need extra coming. They knew what was coming. They saw Trump get elected and still had some time. From the time he was elected to inauguration, his swearing in, they had time to get the hell up out of there. That's what I would have done. He told you what he was going to do. You could choose not to believe him if you want. But if I were in another country and they just elected someone talking like that, I'd be getting the hell up out of there if I was there illegally. Those people thought he was playing.
And you know what, John? You're not them.
Well, that's right, because I would have been the hell up out of the United States if they had elected someone like that.
I will go back to my point. If that is justification, then so be it.
I think in the most American eyes, it is. That's why no one's.
Okay, dude, you're not talking for most Americans. That's what you need to understand. You are talking for John Galt, not most Americans. If that is good enough, that is good enough for you, and all of a sudden you're speaking for most Americans, then I have to accept that.
According to the polls, he is.
Where are the protests to keep these people here? Hold on.
When do people think like polls?
Where are the protests to keep them here?
Okay, dude. Hey, I'm done. You have spoken, John.
The only people really speaking for these people. The only people really speaking for these people really are really
going too fast.
I understand, but the only people
you speak for most Americans.
I'm talking to Portia now. The only people I see really speaking for these people.
I get it.
Okay, let me know when I'll speak. The only people I see. Whenever you're done,
you're not looking at me. I
just talking
know.
about.
Oh, okay. You're not addressing my point. Got it. I've made my point.
I think the only people that are in favor of these people now, the only people I see talking about them in favor of them, I heard Jasmine Crockett say something about who's going to pick out fruit. Well, but I think the only people that are advocating for these people.
I'm not advocating.
Well, the only people that are advocating that they got right, like a lot of people probably don't care what happens to them. If we march them back the same way they marched up here, I think the African American just doesn't care. You got too many other problems to be worried about. Some people that shouldn't be here. And
okay, but let me
being sent to another country. Hell, they walked through foreign countries that they shouldn't have been in. So the fact that they ain't in their home country, hell, they went in their home country when they were here.
You remember, I've said this a lot. I don't think what Trump is doing is wrong. I think how he's doing it is wrong.
Well, how they were brought here was wrong. So,
dude, I don't care how they were brought here.
We're canceling
I care what an American president is.
I understand you don't care how they were brought here, which was wrong.
No. I need you to understand my point and don't ignore it like a 12th man.
Yeah, I understand.
I think what he's doing is right. I think the Enemy Aliens Act allows him to do it. It's how he's doing it. That is a slippery slope.
I think how the Democrats brought those people here.
Okay, of course you want to talk about Democrats.
Whoever brought them here
Democrats are not doing this.
Whoever brought those people here, the ones who coddled them in these other cities,
right? You want to flip to the Democrats as a reason.
Forget about Democrats. Whoever brought them here, whoever funded those
Trump can do it.
Whoever funded those
cartels to bring them here, John Galt. You know that.
12th man, adults are speaking. John,
I didn't realize you were.
Trump can do it. It is his right as president to do it. I worry about how he's doing it.
Well, how would you do it, Stanley?
Motherfucker, no better than you, probably.
How would you do it? You're criticizing Trump on how he's doing it.
I'm not criticizing.
If
you notice,
I want to live a better way, brother.
Jesus
Come
God,
on,
this
man.
dude is fucking. He can do it. I question how he's doing it.
Gotcha.
So how would you do it?
I'm not criticizing. I'm questioning. Do you know the difference, Snowboy?
Not really. Since
well, if you don't know, you need to.
Be done.
If you do not know,
be done.
See,
right, move
this
on.
grave level You don't know, but you'll keep blathering.
You don't
on.
know. You're
I actually have
criticizing
an idea.
Trump's way of doing it, but you don't have a solution.
I'm just
That
going to
makes
mute
you a
and let the
troll.
boy blather.
You goddamn troll. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm questioning. He can do
Go
it.
ahead, John.
No, push it.
Motherfucker, You don't get to do that.
We have Juan, we have Juan back in here, and I pulled up a clip that I saw earlier about a convicted fentanyl dealer seen sobbing as she's nabbed by ICE after illegally re-entering the United States. So whenever it comes to the question of,
That's a due
these
process.
people, it's just like, well, you already got put out of here, and then you come back over, and seeing as these ICE raids, like here in Texas, I can tell you in my area in Texas, the ICE raids have been serious business. It hasn't been a game. So I can't say, because like here in Texas, this is normal.
They're not playing.
For
They are
us,
not playing.
but like
You said someone
what
who's
I've seen
convicted.
here. He said, "What's it like?" So basically, what I was saying is like in Texas, we're used to ICE raids here, but what I've seen since Trump has come back into office, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
I'm going to have to leave this Trump rally. Apparently, being able to think through a problem. The magic word was
and I'm not
the
even saying that
magic
it's that
word
constantly. It's just,
was convicted, which suggests due process.
Right,
And Portia and Stanley.
Trump rally, Stanley.
Yeah, go ahead, Juan. Juan, please, Juan, you go ahead. I don't need to talk. I'll just show this video, but you talk because you can say it better than me.
Well, no, I need you and Stanley up here because, as weird as this sounds, you guys are the reasonable people up here, if that makes any sense. I apologize. No offense to 12th Man. But the thing is and Portia, you're right. In my neck of the woods, there was a bakery 15 minutes from me.
One at a time, man. Go ahead, one.
Not like that. Not like that, 12 Man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. But the thing is there was a bakery 15 minutes from me. And this bakery made the national news because ICE went up in there, bought bread, and then raided the place. That's how messed up that was. But they didn't tell the rest of that story. What had happened was these people that owned this particular bakery not far from me, they had these rundown apartments. No offense, John Galt, I'm sorry. But the thing is these people were basically saying, if you don't like it here, I can make a phone call. So what had happened was one of those people actually had an immigrant benefit. They married a U.S. citizen. Once they got the work authorization document to work legally in the United States, they ran their mouth. They're like, hey, by the way, this particular shithole that I was working at and this shithole place that I was living at was doing this, that, and the third. And that's when ICE opened up an investigation and they shut that shit down with a quickness. They let those people
and I think
work,
that that's
by the way.
so important to point out, like
Go
here
ahead,
in
I'm sorry.
Texas, like the raids here in Texas, again, this is not anything new to a Texan. This is 24/7, 365. But the way that we've seen it since Trump has taken up, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh my
It's on
Lord,
steroids.
Is this what we're doing? Yeah, it's just like, oh
It's
my
on
God, like
steroids.
we've seen things, but so we've never seen it like this. And not just say that I'm in support, like it's just, yes, if you broke the law when you came here by coming here illegally, but like what we're seeing in Texas right now is so, like this is crazy. And I can't speak for any other state and how ICE is coming into their states. I mean, because like in Texas, at least for me in my area, they come in the schools, the churches, the jobs, the grocery stores, the construction sites. They're coming everywhere. Like you can just be driving, you'll just see a pull up in like, and they're just like in normal cars. You're every day. You don't know it's them. You just think it's just, any other person on their way to work. And it's like, no, it's not any other person. It's like they're really pulling up on these people. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And then too, of course, a lot of these people, they're not illegal.
they're citizens, like they were born and raised here, right? But it's just, you know,
That's the problem.
just seeing it's just
And-
to me as a Texan who's grown up with this all my life, and I know, just like, you know, Juan, he's been here, he knows. It's like it's different to see it, you know.
Well,
It's
Portia,
like, oh,
we can ask
this
you a
is-
question, Portia. How many illegal or how many American citizens have you seen rounded up?
12th man, I'll answer that
thousands.
question. I've seen a bunch of them. I know because those are some of the phone calls that I'm getting.
Actual
And those are some of the
American
letters.
citizens?
Actual American
dude.
citizens.
Yeah.
Let me give you guys an anecdote real quick. Let me give you guys an
I don't know if
anecdote.
I believe that shit or not.
I know
Oh,
you
my
don't believe
Lord.
it, but let me give you an anecdote. Let me give you guys an anecdote. I actually got stopped. All right. I actually got stopped. I was walking from the public library and some unmarked cars came up and they surrounded me and asked me for my ID. And I said, well, am I accused of anything? Well, we think you're harboring aliens. And I said, well, for starters, I have a briefcase. Unless this guy's like 2 foot tall and is skinny as hell that can fit in his briefcase, I'm not harboring anybody. I'm not giving you my effing ID, I said. And finally, their supervisor came. And of course, these idiots checked my briefcase without my permission because I am a citizen. You have to have a warrant for that with me. The moment my business card fell out and it had my boss's name and they found out that my boss was an attorney and they saw that my name was underneath it and they saw JD next to it, they left me alone. But I get calls every day, and some people may have contracted us where we have to fax to ICE information saying, hey, look, this particular person or that person is in the process of getting an N600 done. Do not deport this person. If you do, once we get them back in the United States, which
Well,
we
they let
can.
you go.
Let me
so
finish.
what are you
Let me finish.
complaining
Let me
about?
finish. 12th man, let me finish. The thing is if and when we get them back in the United States, we are going to refer them to another attorney that will sue you. And I've had people that came to me that said, well, what if we check your stuff without, you know, such and such because you're within that 100-mile radius? And I've had to tell them, I will sue you. I work for an attorney. I'm studying for the bar exam for the 3rd time, and hopefully I will be one myself. You don't want this smoke from us. I've had to explain that to them. They've calmed down here where I'm at, but it's still happening. That's the problem.
Well, they have to check.
No, they don't.
I mean, those
You need
are
a warrant.
big fentanyl shitholes. They got tunnels
12th man.
everywhere and everything.
12th
else.
man. 12th
They
man.
gotta
Not without a
check
warrant.
people.
No, not without a warrant. If they don't have a warrant, they're not checking my stuff. And furthermore, since I work for an attorney and I'm soon to be one myself, half the stuff that I have is privileged. They cannot look at it. Unless ICE comes into my house with an I-205, which is a search warrant, you're not coming in my house. I don't give a damn about what, this happening, fentanyl, this, that, and the third. If you don't have a warrant, you're not coming in my house. Period. The end. If you don't have an arrest warrant, you're not picking up these guys. Period. The end. But again, like I said, down here in South Texas, they're calm. Here in South Texas, they're calming down a little bit because again, we've had to send letters like that. Hey,
you might. Street's kind of another thing than being in your house.
Then they need reasonable suspicion.
Oh boy,
and I'm sorry,
I have
unless the
so
guy is.
many comments.
I mean, ultimately, I think that, like, no matter the state, every single state is going to have like different processes. And like I was saying, like here in Texas, like ICE raids, that's nothing new for a Texan. And I'll say even in the deepest parts of Texas, like where it's completely stranded, folks live out in the hills, whatever the case may be, it's not foreign to us, but just seeing it this way, it's different, but of course,
let me ask you a question. Is different better or worse? Is it literally just different versus better or worse?
No,
it depends on the situations.
Yeah, and I guess for Tawan too, like it depends. It's just so different. It's like, oh my gosh, wow, this is
it depends
this
on
is different. Being born and raised and seeing it like all your life. Mm-hmm. And seeing how it's been conducted all your life, but seeing how it is being conducted now, it's just different. And, again, you came in illegally whatever the case may be. We have like a lot of different, criminals, crimes, and me. Like I've been a victim of it. I was in South Carolina for 4.5 months, and yeah, I was in South Carolina with my brother. My brother, he's in the military, and my whole house. I only had cameras in the front and the back of my house, Stanley. And for those of you in the chat, y'all might call me stupid. Toss it up to me being a woman, but on the side of my house, on both sides of my house, where my water spigots are. I haven't been home in 4 months, over 4 months, but of course I'm getting a water bill. Well, I'm still getting a bill even though I'm not there, and I'm just thinking it would be small. But my neighbors are sending me videos of people who look to be Hispanic, and they have those big old water jugs. And again, different circumstances, different state, but they have these big old water jugs on the back of their trucks, and they use it.
Okay,
for
I have to
landscaping.
make this joke. Trende
Go ahead.
agua. Trende agua.
Stanley, that
Agua or something like that.
agua. Yeah,
Okay,
the
sorry.
agua.
It's a horrible joke, Portia.
The water train.
I got it.
Hey, Portia, can I ask you, what are they using it for? Are they using it for like their big
MS-13.
talk, man?
Sorry, John.
We can't talk over each other.
No, John,
Yeah.
John, they're using it for landscaping because they
Yeah,
do a
that's what I
whole lot
thought,
of
yeah.
landscaping. That's like
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
outside
Man,
of like construction. I know a lot of people think like their number one thing is construction, but their number one thing is landscaping. And so, John, my neighbors are sending me videos from their cameras that show the side of my house, and like in the dead of the night, John, they're pulling up. They have the front part of the pickup, and then they have like a trailer attached to it, and it's this big old like water thing, and they're hooking it up to my water, to my spigot,
That's a
and
lot of
they're
water,
filling
too,
up
Portia.
every night.
Yeah.
John, listen to me. I told you
That's
I was
a lot of
gone
water.
for over 4 months. I'm in South Carolina. Do you hear me? I'm in South Carolina. I'm getting my water bill, and I'm like, hey, Nina, what's going on? Like for months, my water bill it went $1,000 because originally it was like $30. Right? It's just me. Right? I ain't using water like that. But $30 at best, it's like 50, 60 at best, right? But then like the moment that I'm not at home, so obviously they were casing the neighborhood and casing things like that. And so I went from like having like at most, let's just say at most, I'll say my average, $45. While I'm gone, $1,500, $1,800, $2,500.
Yeah, that's like filling up a
And
swimming
I'm trying
pool.
to figure out what's going on. Exactly, and that's how big those things are. I'll look up here in just a second to kind of put it up on the screen so people can see what I'm talking about. But like my water bill is so outrageous, and it's like I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but I'm still paying it though, right? Like even though I'm not there, and whenever I'm looking at these videos and things like that, but I still have like, okay, it's a bill. I have more important family stuff going on right now, so I'm here. But when I come back home and I'm looking, and I'm like, God, dog, like this is crazy. But whenever I got home, John, they didn't send out a notice. They didn't send by mail, by email, by phone call, or nothing. Whenever I got home, they had locks on the spigots.
Oh wow.
So the water
They
department
for you. They
had
put it on
came out to put locks on the spigots. Yes,
Yeah,
it didn't even know. So I'm talking to
Yeah, I can imagine
my
Portia.
neighbor's fire home that I'm talking about. I'm renting that one out. And so the house that I'm in right now, the house that I got built that I own right now, like I have even neighbors around me like, hey, we don't really get that cold in Texas, but your neighbors are like, hey, I was at Home Depot, I was at Lowe's, so I got like these covers, that keeps it warm so our spigots don't get frozen and we don't have to have bursted pipes, things like that, right? And so these are the things that are going on. But whenever my neighbors are calling and texting me, the whole entire water department, I'm talking, it's like what, at least 5 to 8 million people out here, they done went out house by house and put locks on spigots. And I had already bought some to put them on, but they had already done it, but they didn't tell us why. You know what I mean? And so like I had to go through this whole thing to, get reimbursed the money that I paid, for these people still in the water. What are we doing? But this is the kind of stuff that they do. So for me, listen, I don't believe in a thief. I hate a thief. Be glad that I wasn't at home, because if I was, I would have shot all of them dead. I would have killed every last one of them.
I beat a thief to death.
That is so much bullshit.
That kind of stuff.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I will take every single breath that I had left with. Don't touch nothing. Okay. But
that
I
kind of
wasn't
stuff.
there, so I couldn't do that. So
That kind of stuff will lower the water pressure in the whole neighborhood. Someone pull up with a tanker like truck, loading up water.
That's the problem. Also,
Your water pressure.
and so John, that was essentially the result. So because one, I think that's what he's about to get into. If it's a fire, it's Texas, right? Like, you have places like Arizona, Nevada. They have rocks. You understand? Like they have rocks in their yards instead of grass. Down here we have grass. In Texas, we do controlled fires. Okay, so they'll go through and they'll light it all up and do all that. But see here, we have to water our grass, but like the pressure is low. It's not covering the whole of our grass. We don't want our yards to catch on fire. But they're still in our water every night. Go up your neighborhood.
Yeah,
Dirty people. Sorry, y'all go ahead.
That's some third world shit, right?
Well, real quick, the thing is, there's a difference between what I do. Again, when we're sending ICE a letter that says, "Hey, look, we're doing an N600." An N600, real quick for context, is a certification that says this person is a U.S. citizen. Do not deport him. And so when we're sending ICE a letter that says, "Hey, look, you might be deporting a U.S. citizen, and you might get sued," that's different. Or if somebody falls in love with a foreigner and they want to petition that person, and that foreigner hasn't committed a crime, that's where we come in as well. Or somebody that's running from their country. Yes, this is happening because they're getting locked up because they're a Christian, or the new wave of Venezuelans that happened last year.
What country is someone running from their country? Name that country.
Nicaragua. Daniel Ortega from Nicaragua. That's for context. Nicaragua is about 36.
I got you. So they're running from. So they're running from Nicaragua. What's the next country over from Nicaragua?
Costa Rica, which is also communist, John.
Oh no, okay. So you go to Costa Rica, which a lot of people go to vacation in Costa Rica. It can't be that damn bad.
It's also communist. What will happen, John? For context,
all right, fair enough. It's communist. What's the next country over from Costa Rica?
Honduras, which is in political crisis right now with us.
Okay, all right. What's the next country over from there?
Mexico.
All right. Is that Mexico okay, or is that fucked up too?
The cartels? I mean, dude, I live in cartel country, John. God damn it.
You don't hear it every day, so it can't be that damn bad, right? If you live there, if you don't hear it every day, it's damn bad.
John, when the cartel
John, if you don't mind,
go ahead, Portia.
Go ahead, Portia.
And Juan, 12th Man mentioned it earlier, and Juan, I think that whenever 12th Man mentioned it earlier, we were in a meeting, but 12th Man, he was like asking different questions, about different places, people being beheaded, and I was like, well, depending on where you are, well, whenever we're talking about Mexico and the way that they do everywhere. If I'm in Chicago, shout out to HB2, and it just might be bullets, but you see, these people, they use machete. It's just different. It's different, and you're gonna see it. It's a thing. It's really a thing. You're not gonna see it like far off in the cities, but like on the outskirts by the border. Oh yeah, no, they don't play those games. And if you want your head hanging on a light pole, the red, yellow, green. Go for it. These people, they're savages, and they just don't care. And so, in that case, of course, like these types of people, I don't want them here. But again, over the course of the last 4 years, had not we voted here and of course the great state of Texas, for all of the things that Governor Abbott did, that reality wouldn't have been brought to the rest of the United States of America to see like, hey, you know, this stuff is gory.
Portia, hey, Portia, not even my Democrat mama wants them here. Nobody does.
But the problem is, and here for context, here's how bad it is, everybody. For context, when Claudia Sheinbaum, that's Mexico's president, when she sent over the 29 people that we've been looking for decades, they did not give them consular cover. And what that means is for two of them, one of them killed Quique Camarón, who was a DEA agent back when I was in diapers. That person is death penalty eligible. And Mexico is not going to help them, is not going to give them consular lawyers. They're basically on the mercy of our.
God damn it, 12 man. Can you?
But one, I guess my question to you is, all these people that are coming from wherever the hell, Nicaragua, couldn't they stay in Mexico? Wouldn't it be easier for them to assimilate in Mexico? Similar language?
No, and the reason why, for context, John, and this is where I was going to get at, there is a train called the Beast. There's a train called the Beast, right? And so they take that train from they take that train from Chiapas to Mexico City, and then they hop on another train from Mexico City to Monterrey, Nuevo León, which is about 2.5 hours south of me. And then from there, they go from.
I don't need to hold the whole route. Just tell me, why can't they stay in Mexico?
You'll understand when I finish. You'll understand when I finish.
All right.
Again, you'll understand when I finish. You'll understand when I finish. I apologize. So they'll go from Monterrey to Reynosa, and guess who's waiting for them? La Maña. And if they don't pay, and boy, do they have to pay, and I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars, their heads end up on pikes literally 5 minutes from me.
So
in Rio Bravo.
All right. So it's fucked up in Honduras. It's fucked up in Costa Rica. It's fucked up in Mexico. Okay. Why don't they just stay at home then? God damn. If it's that fucked up all around, then why not just stay where you know it's fucked up, and that's at home? Because it clearly is fucked up here for them, right? Like you can't make us get.
Yeah. So John, like whatever it is that they're facing at home. Yeah, so like whatever it is they're facing at home, they're willing to risk it all. But I think that like what Juan just said at the end of what he just explained, what a lot of people don't know, because this isn't talked about a lot. These people pay so much money, and we're not talking about their dollars, we're talking about American dollars.
Our dollars.
Just to have a Sicario. You get to, if y'all have, those of you in the chat, you see the movie Sicario, like I'll see all these different things, the coyotes, all this stuff, like they're paying like for each entry point. Like by the time they finally get to their pathway, they're paying like they've paid already $150,000 just to get here.
Okay, but my point is, people go to Mexico from America all the time, every day. They go on vacation.
I do it, yes.
There's got to be some safe places that those people could get to Mexico and say, okay, I'm going to chill here because I know the language, the people are similar. Don't say they can't do it, because they go back and forth between Mexico every day.
No, John, they can't. And the reason why, look, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. And here's the difference. Yes, I'm going to interrupt you. Look, we are American citizens. And I can tell you this is a rule I know because it happened to me, and the person that did it to me is no longer with us. They will not touch American citizens. The cartel's rule is don't go to war with the American government. Other countries, all day long. All day long. But here's the catch to that.
Hold on. Don't interrupt. When there's some Americans killed last year in Mexico by the cartel? Come on, man. Let's say they just kill that shit. They will kill America. They kill anybody.
There were two that were killed, and John, you forgot to tell exactly what happened after that.
What happened?
After that, because of the heat that was from. Two of them were brought back alive, and for context, real quick, those guys were involved in bullshit.
But I'm saying they won't get resurrected.
John.
So they do kill
cartels turned over their own. No, their cartels.
John, I'll say this.
The cartels turned over their own guys. That's how bad it was. We had hacked into their cell phones, and it was funny.
and they got killed.
The FBI
you know, you might hear. Sorry, Juan. Just really quick, like for John,
Go ahead.
you might hear stories of, some Americans, and it might be a couple. I mean, maybe at best 10. But the thing is like if you're not like whenever you're doing your research and stuff, if you're not looking directly into Texas and our local news, it's night and day. Americans, they're not getting slaughtered like everybody that's not.
Right. So let me ask you a question.
There are Americans right there at the border. They do go over there, and they already know better. They're not doing that. But like,
I do it. I go over there.
John,
they
cut people up. It's like a butchery.
There has to be little Salvador towns in Mexico. There's got to be.
No.
Whatever the border is doing, ain't no way you done been all through Mexico and you can tell me there ain't no little enclave of foreigners. Nowhere. So Mexico is 100% Mexican. Is that what you're telling me?
John,
Mexico I'm asking you a question. Is Mexico, why he can't answer? I'm asking you a question. Is Mexico 100%?
I'm answering your question, sir.
Okay. Is it 100% Mexican? Yes or no?
Only enclaves.
There are enclaves.
The only enclaves in Mexico are what I would like to call Little America. They're the tourist traps. They're your Puerto Vallartas. They're your Acapulcos. They're your Cancuns. They're your Tulums.
And those are white people.
That's it.
John, those are white people.
Those are white people from here.
So Mexico is basically what you're saying is 90% white and 10% Americans. The only other group would be Americans. Who else is there? Is there any other group from Central America that is the enclave? I'm just asking because I don't know.
So John, in Mexico, it's Mexicans. In all of the other places that are overly populated in Mexico, because gosh, like they're protesting it. Juan, I know like over the last maybe at least 10 years where we got news. Like the Mexicans, like John, they're pissed off. They're pissed off that all of these white people have moved into their towns and they've been buying up and doing everything else. But like John, anything outside of Mexico that's not from here in North America, South Americans, absolutely not, John.
Mexican
they
or
don't have
indigenous.
enclaves of South Americans? Hell no. Are you kidding? No.
No.
The only thing that they want
Absolutely
from these
not.
people that are migrating to come to America, to come into the United States, listen, if you ain't got the money, you're not coming. And you may come and you could be a young woman, you can have young children. That's where the trafficking comes into it. They don't give a damn. Like, John, they are slaughtering these people that are coming. If you're not a brethren of their own country of Mexico, no, they don't have pockets where it's like, okay, we have Guatemalans over here. It's a large population. We got, El Salvadorians over here. We have, even if we go to the Caribbean, we got some Brazilians over here. It's not like that. It's just not.
No, not even close.
They just
not even close.
They're not trying to stay in Mexico. They don't want to stay in Mexico. That's like the most from their whole entire trek. These people cross water, and I've shown you guys this on the channel before. They go through the deserts. It's hot as hell. It's a trek. But you know what? They're not trying to stop in Mexico. They don't even want to stop in Mexico because they already know what time it is. Mexicans, they're not on that because in Mexico, John, they got to go through the cartel. Period.
But you could say, I've talked to immigrants that have traveled from Africa, and I've asked them, damn, man, why you just didn't stop once you got to Europe? You could have just stopped in Greece. Yet they keep going. They go through the cold weather, all these European countries traveling through the cold, trying to get to Northern Europe for the welfare benefits.
John, that's also the difference as well. The Africans that went through Greece or Italy, those are known as safe third countries. And for context, the United States is also what is known as a safe third country, according to the UNHCR and according. Let me finish. And according. John,
it's dangerous to walk from Pakistan to Europe.
John, the point is when they go through asylum here in the United States, and they've gone through one of those countries in Europe, their asylum case here in the United States immediately gets denied. And what's funny is the Haitians that fled to Canada, because we are a safe third country, those Haitians that are applying for asylum in Canada right now are also getting their asylum cases immediately denied for literally that reason.
Are there any El Salvadorans in the neighboring country, like Costa Rica?
Well, the Salvadorans are actually going back to El Salvador right now because El Salvador is safe and Bitcoin's their currency.
That's not the question that I asked you. In the neighboring country, when you leave El Salvador, what country are you in? Honduras?
When you leave El Salvador, you can either go to Honduras or Guatemala. Those are the
If you're on your way to America, which country? If you're on your way to America, which country do you hit first?
Either or.
Okay. Are there any Salvadorans in those countries? Is it one? At least one?
Well, that I don't know, because in Central America, in El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua, for those three countries, they can actually travel freely and live freely. It's almost like their version of the European Union. So I don't know.
So there is some then. You do know.
Again, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, this is going to bore me to death.
Okay,
what's your point?
If they can go freely between,
you know what? I'm going to stay here and ask you what's your point.
If they can travel freely between those countries, and clearly they feel comfortable to travel back and forth, then that means some of them are staying in those countries, those neighboring countries, which means that their country, if their country is so damn dangerous, all they got to do is get to the next neighboring country, which they travel between anyway. But yet they keep going. And we've been told it's so fucking dangerous in all these other countries that they just gotta come here. Whoever believes it, all these other countries are so damn dangerous.
You don't know who told us.
I know people that go to vacation in Costa Rica. So Costa Rica.
Okay, we're not talking vacation. Here comes your assistant, John.
I want to
hear
John finish his point.
El Salvador is the safest place in South America.
And,
I mean, that's what they're saying now. But I want to
is not in South America.
All right, let Push finish. Go ahead.
El Salvador is not in South
America. We got it. All right, go ahead, Push.
John, I just wanted to hear you finish your position.
I just think it's bullshit that those people can't go to one of the countries, that they got to go through 4 or 5 countries to reach a safe haven. I've known people.
Bullshit.
Because I know people that go vacation. I know well, it's just vacation.
Okay, you're talking vacation. How about actually live there?
I know people that live there. I've worked with people that live in Costa Rica. It ain't that damn dangerous. Can't be, right? I know people that have retired to Costa Rica. Can't be that fucking dangerous.
It can't be.
Can't be.
Yeah, you just might come up missing there.
You can't be no fucking
no reason.
Can't be no dangers in Chicago. Can't be no dangers in Baltimore. Can't be no danger in Detroit. Some of these other. And so, you know, and I'm sure there are little havens.
Are people leaving Chicago for El Salvador?
Well, I'm saying that.
Oh yes, Juan. We know that story. So John, the only thing is like I'm just giving an opinion, not anything from anything I've looked up. But you know, the end all be all is getting to America no matter the cost. Like, yes, I can get here and I can stop here. You know, I can go to the next closest country where I would be safe, but it's like that's not what they want. They just want to come to America. And so like these people that are coming here, no, it doesn't matter the cost. Even if, you know, they didn't have to deal with their child being kidnapped and trafficked or whatever the case may be. They're just like, I don't care. I just want to come to America.
Exactly.
But whenever they get to Mexico, that's when their real trouble starts. You know,
yes.
And it's like,
yes.
well, you know,
especially for the women.
You know, like, right, especially for the women. So it's just like, yes, they had a hard trek, and where they could have stopped, they don't want to. They have no intention to. And so, like, the real battle comes for these people. You know, coming from South America. The real battle comes whenever they finally get to Mexico, because once they get there, it's all of the shit. It's off the table. It's dog eat dog. And but you know what? You know what's crazy about it though, John? Is that these people, they want to come to America so bad they don't care. Okay, I got to give up a kid. fine. What up, my daughter? Take her. They don't care.
Right.
And so for these different pockets where it may seem like they have a community, no, they do not. Because
Portia,
cartels,
have you ever? Can you give us any example, or is that your opinion?
no, this is
Plenty of
examples.
No,
examples.
motherfucker! You better be silent, 12th man. You're annoying.
There's
I was
plenty
talking
of
to
examples.
Portia.
Look
Is
'em
your
up.
dude? I try and ask a direct question, and I seem to be interrupted.
There's lots of
I'll just say,
examples.
12th man.
hey, Latino. No,
My
Stanley, I'll
question
say
to
in response
Portia
to
was: is it your opinion, or can you provide any sort of
There are
concrete?
specific
Why is
examples
this
of human
motherfucker
trafficking.
talking for
It's
a
like,
Come on, we gotta have a little bit more civility on
Okay,
all this.
this
Come on,
is
Stanley. Figure it out.
motherfucking annoying.
Come on, Stanley.
12th
Come
man,
on.
you need motherfucker. I was talking to
Come on,
Portia,
man.
and this
How the motherfucker
idiot
died.
decides
You
to
got it.
hop on.
How the
Was
name-
I not asking Portia a question in this
I'm
fucking
telling you,
brain rot?
Come on, man. All the name calling.
specific examples.
No, motherfucker.
One
He's
at a
pissed
time.
me
One at a
off.
time. Just go
I'm
to ask the question.
literally one-on-one question, and this brain
Well, just ask
rotted,
the question. and
fucking
you-
half-baked be brave decides to interrupt me. I'm unhappy about that. Portia, can you please provide an example, or is that opinion?
Oh, so this is, I would say at one point, it might have been opinion up until I got to go through the trail myself.
So you have an example you can provide the panel.
Yeah, I don't have like a video or anything.
Okay, then
It's just-
I understand.
Yeah, so it's just
So
whatever,
at this point, it's opinion.
okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just it's
I'm good with that.
me-
It was my only question. We can move
yeah,
on.
yeah, which is so I've gotten the opportunity to
12th man, you need to
go
fucking
and
stay out of my
see
way,
and-
dude.
And from the opportunities that I've had, even though my family, they really didn't agree, I've just gotten to go and see things from South America, and I've gotten the opportunity to go and see their pathway.
So
And so for
you
the questions that John is asking,
formed an opinion. Got it.
Portia, did you go to the Darien by any chance?
yes,
Yeah, you're braver than I am. You wouldn't catch me dead in the Darien. That is the scariest place to go. So many people have died in that area.
yeah, and I've been multiple times. Yeah, I've been multiple times, and it's just, just to see it, because it's like you
What
can
happened
hear
to
the
the
things. Even me as a Republican going to go see it. It's just so protected. I know that I'm safe. And, as you're out, like if you're a hunter, shout out to all my hunters out there. I think Richard, he was in the building earlier. Like, you just kind of let it do what it does, but just being out there and watching it and seeing it and seeing what these people are willing to risk everything over. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy to me. Just to come to America? America, to me, in my mind, like, and of course I'm going to be biased as an American. I'm like, America ain't that damn sweet for me to go through all of this, but okay. I've seen it and I've gotten to experience the sight of it, if you will. Not that I'm going through what they're going through, but I've gotten to see it.
Two of me on that.
Too many times.
How
It's
that
just like, oh my
happened?
God.
What's it? I got
Double
two
drunk.
of me on there now.
It's two times the retardation.
Oh,
The thing is
Stanley.
I'll do
what I said,
intakes,
12th
right?
man.
And if I'll do intakes, for example, and so there will be somebody, for example, that was recently deported, and they'll say, "Hey, look, is there anything that I can do?" Or somebody that's detained, is there anything that I can do? And then I look up their criminal history because yes, I can check. I can
Excuse
pull up
me.
your if you did something in Texas, I can pull up your your DPS record. And if you lie to me, that shit comes out too. And so, if I see something like domestic assault, aggravated SA of a child. Yeah, no, dude, not only is there nothing that we can do, but I don't even want to talk to you. Bye-bye. Or you were check kiting and the check kiting was over $15,000. No, dude, there's nothing that we can do, nor do I want you. Or like the Dominican dummy that got caught this morning that was trafficking fentanyl. I think that was what you were bringing up, Stanley. Same thing. No, there's no remedy. There's no waiver. There's nothing. 3 points in a prayer. Maybe you shouldn't traffic something that could kill, everybody in the United States times 10. Maybe you should have choices. But then there are other people. But then there are other intakes that I could take, for example, and if there's somebody that's asking for asylum or what's known as a CAT, the Convention Against Torture hearing, and those people, they tell me what's going on and what their government's doing, and they look literally like the people that went through Iraq and Afghanistan. They're shaking, they're sweating, they're going through these flashbacks, and it's, I'm sorry, but again, those type of people, I'll commit a felony every day of the week to hide them because I already know exactly what's waiting for them if they leave. But that's different versus, okay, you committed a crime in your country and it's not pardonable here. No, dude, not only is it not pardonable, but we don't want you here. Bye. We don't want you, just like the people that John brought up in Mexico that like those people, what he didn't tell you, I know this, because I talked to some people that know people. Those dummies were in Mexico buying pills, and those prescription pills, the thing is for context, those prescription pills, you need a prescription here, but you don't need a prescription in Mexico. And these dummies were buying a whole bunch.
You sure don't.
No, you don't.
So
the thing is
chat, anybody, a really quick one. You guys know my feelings about food stamps. They haven't changed. So if anybody's selling them, please shoot me an email at portia@jghb.info. If you're selling food stamps, I'm always willing. I got the 20 for the 40. I got the 50 for the 100. I have the 100 for the 200. And I'm
in Minecraft.
Try to embrace Amazon. I'm trying to embrace Amazon Marketplace. So I mean, if you got it, I got it. You know what I mean? But for
in Minecraft. In Minecraft, Portia, we don't want knocks at your door. But yeah, the thing is those
I'll be picking it up at a safe place, but that would be good for me. But we have Tom Homan, and as far as like the fentanyl and other drugs that are being brought across, you have people, which is kind of odd to me. It's just like, gosh, you haven't heard about everything that's going on. You're still trying to come over here. I wouldn't be trying to come over here, but they still are. So I wanted to show you guys one video of. I know you guys may not think it's a woman. It is, okay. It's a lady. It's a lady. She was a drug dealer.
The female version of Big
She hadn't got caught yet. She's crossed the borders multiple times, without detection, but they actually got her. They did, and she was sobbing and stuff. So we'll take a look at this, and then I'll show you guys another video, and then y'all can get back into it. And that's a woman. She's a woman.
It was a she.
I won't go in.
Don't ask how I know, but it was a she.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a woman. So let's see what's going on here.
Chad's guns under kitty. Can't hear it, Portia.
Oh, y'all can't hear it? Okay, give me 1 second. I'll share it again. Sorry, folks.
Well, if we're going to video, the video level of 12th man commentary, I'll drop out now.
Bye. No one making stay here, Stanley. What's up, Juan? I thought Portia is about to play another video.
Well, I'm about to log out also because it's 10:30 and I got to get up in about 5 hours. But the thing is
I had to hop out and hop back in because my volume and things they weren't doing what I needed them to do. So here's this lady. Hopefully you guys can hear it this time.
A Dominican drug dealer previously deported for peddling fentanyl broke down in tears as she was arrested while illegally back in the U.S. Virginia Becerra Gonzalez, 36, was sobbing as ICE agents took her into custody in Philadelphia last Wednesday. A U.S. magistrate judge issued a federal warrant for her arrest the same day she was to be served a notice of intent to reinstate a final removal order. She will remain in federal custody pending charges for re-entry after deportation. Photos released by ICE show Becerra Gonzalez crying as she's led away in handcuffs. ICE Philadelphia Acting Field Office Director Brian McShane said the arrest demonstrates our commitment to protecting our communities from criminal aliens. Becerra Gonzalez was first arrested in 2019 in Pennsylvania
for
40 grams or more of fentanyl and aiding and abetting. She pleaded guilty and was sentenced to just over a year in prison and 4 years of supervised release. ICE deported her to the Dominican Republic in 2020 before she could serve her sentence, but she illegally re-entered the U.S. at an unknown date. Authorities
Wonder why they're gonna put her in El Salvador.
and arrested her outside her job.
Portia, gonna put
Hey,
her
John.
in there.
John, are you still here, John? John Galt? Earth John Galt? Is John still here? Okay, so I was gonna
There's
I
one
mentioned to
again.
John, so she got sentenced. She's from the DR, right? But she still managed to get out of the grips of the court system there, and she made her way back to America again. She's the Caribbean. I mean, DR, Haiti, all of the fixins, all of the likes. However many times she went from there to here, she still made it back. I mean, every other time up until Trump was president.
Well, Portia,
She's making all that money, Portia, be able to do all that.
Well, she's lucky that deportation or reinstatement of deportation, which is what happened to her, is all that she got, because drug trafficking offense is what's known as an aggravated felony. If you come back into the country, that's a federal offense. You can spend up to 20 years in prison. And so she's lucky that the case wasn't referred to a U.S. attorney.
That Fed comes with 20. So any of you out there in the chat right now, we have 17 people in the building. I don't expect all of you to take advice from me. However, don't find yourselves, no matter what it is that you're doing, you guys be safe out there. Don't find yourself in a position to be caught with a Fed charge. That's 20 off top. 20 off top. So you guys, whatever crimes you're committing, just keep them to yourself. Stay safe. So you ain't got to get 20 off top, Just don't get 20 off top. That's what I would say.
Just don't do anything stupid. Yeah, just don't do anything freaking stupid. But those are the people, again, if we were to intake them, for example, I'm sorry, we're not taking your case. There's nothing that we can do, number one. But number two, we don't want you here. No offense. If somebody's here and they're legitly running, and you can tell the difference. Again, the people that legit are running from their government, they have stories to tell. And those stories are horrific. The thing is again, I'll commit a felony every day of the week. I'll hide you myself because I know exactly what's up for you when you go back. In that regards, that's the biggest difference. The problem right now, and I don't know if Portia you would agree, but right now it seems like Holman and Kristi Noem are playing this big ass game of whack-a-mole, and so they're just plucking up anybody. And I'm thinking, me personally, I'm thinking, okay, that's stupid because number one, you stopped me. I'm a citizen. So how many other citizens did you stop? How many citizens are you at risk of deporting, which is stupid? That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Number two, the issue with El Salvador. Again, that's a due process issue, but we'll let the courts decide that. But more importantly,
it didn't happen, bro.
Let me finish, man. The other problem is that you're letting the gangs, El Tren de Aragua, you're letting the cartels, who are terrorist organizations, you're letting the Mara Salvatruchas, you're allowing them to hide in plain sight because all they got to do is just lay low and not do anything while everybody else is being stupid and getting hemmed up. And to me, I would rather it the other way. We're looking for criminals. I would open if I were Holman, here's what I would do. I would open up a tip line. Hey, if you're here illegally and you're not committing crimes, give us a call, rat out the village idiots that are committing the crimes, and we'll ring them up. Because what it does is it promotes safety amongst them. And so if there's bullshit going on, they're going to call, hey, so-and-so is selling drugs on this corner and this person has no business being here. Hey, we'll grab them right real quick. Or, hey, so-and-so committed a manslaughter and he's out on probation and he's over here. Yeah, we'll bring them up real quick. Oh, this person has the MS tattoo on his chest and he lives over there. Yeah, we'll hand them up real quick. And what it does is it allows us to hem up the people that are dangerous, the people that are declared terrorists, and we're not playing this big game of whack-a-mole. It's basically priorities, right? You know, and as a result, you're deporting more people, but you're deporting more of the dangerous people, and you're not deporting Maria that's been in the country for 30 years that has 2 U.S. citizen kids and one of them has cancer, which, yes, that actually happened.
Yeah, brain cancer or some shit.
Exactly.
I wanted to say, I see Tom Gully. Shout out to Tom Gully. Tom Gully says, "Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't go to bed with no price on your head. No, and keep your eye on the shadow." I heard that on Beretta. Shout out to you, Tom Gully. I did tell Stanley to ask you this, but Tom Gully, are you going to have brisket tomorrow?
What's up, Tom Gully?
Tom Gully, are you going to have brisket tomorrow for breakfast? Brisket. What are we looking like with our brisket? You know, we have another message from Tom Gully. Tom Gully says the Hispanic games sound like really delicious entrees at a Mexican restaurant when Juan says them. And you know, Tom Gully, and you know, Juan, of course, too. Hey, you guys know down here in Texas, we love Mexican food and we also love brisket, you know. So if you guys ever, you know, are feeling, you know, generous and you want to send, you know, if you want to sponsor the show with brisket, please. Cash App, $ Portia J with the E at the end, or PayPal Portia@jghb.info. You know, it's never a bad day for brisket. It's a brisket day every day in the great state of Texas. Oh, Tom Gully. Oh my goodness, Tom. Whenever I was talking to Stanley earlier, I was just like, the only thing I'm thinking about is like, Stanley, you have to ask Tom, is he gonna have brisket for breakfast? But here I have, Tom says, brisket update, had her for lunch today. Tom, you know, I too am jealous. I think I'm gonna make a brisket this weekend, Tom. You know, it's been about a week. It's not been a full week. It's been about 5 days, Tom. And 5 days is too long without it. I know you people don't understand. It's important. It's a part of the Texan diet. If you don't have brisket at least once a week, you might get sick. You might get sick, and we don't want you guys.
You might get the meat sweats.
Yeah, you might get sick. So you guys make sure that you have your daily brisket intake. Let me finish this. This is only a couple more seconds. I want to get the
meat sweats.
Here at Del Caribe restaurant in North Philadelphia, where she was working as a cook. Her court-appointed attorney argued she was not a flight risk, but the government pushed for pre-trial detention, citing her prior conviction.
That's amazing. She was working as a cook.
Here's everything you.
Working as a cook, and she was also a dope dealer.
So she was a dope dealer.
Imagine if she was selling brisket, it wouldn't have been so bad.
So she was getting it from DR, trafficking it, or like.
So she's from the Dominican.
She's from the DR.
I don't know. Yeah, she's from the DR. I don't know where she was getting her drugs, but she got busted. She got busted, Latino, and I know that's I know that's your home.
It's my people. It's my people.
But yes, we understand. But you're legal, and we're okay with that. She was illegal and she was doing.
We got to get her up out of here, just like how Virgo says all the time. We got to get her up out of here.
We got to get you up out of here.
Latinos, mire. Tú eres dominicano. Yo soy puertorriqueño por herencia. You can't claim that chick, man. I'm sorry. You can't claim that chick, man.
Juan,
probably not important.
Little do you know, I was born in Puerto Rico.
Oh gosh, I have to tell HB.
Oh no, entonces tú eres como yo. We can't claim that chick.
My parents happen to be Dominican.
Yeah, we can't claim that chick, Latino. We can't claim her.
Nope. She ain't. She not mine, Papa.
Here I go. I cannot believe that. And I don't even want to switch it up on you guys like that. I'm gonna leave that for HB to cover. I went on Twitter to I guess because I haven't clicked on a Twitter video in a long time. The last thing that I showed you guys on Twitter was from Bukele. And I go back to that link.
Shout out to Bukele.
And what pops up is Jess Hilarious got fired from the Breakfast Club.
Who?
And like I said, I won't pull it up. Jess Hilarious. I will.
Oh yeah. Like a while back.
Well, no.
She should have been
it's
fired.
just
She
been
wasn't
confirmed. Well, they said that she was going to get fired because of the comments.
Yeah. She made fun of the little kid's head, bro.
Yeah, but she wasn't the only one, right? But Charlemagne, he's the face, right? But they were saying all the way back then that she was going to get fired, but as of 2 hours ago, from the Breakfast Club, their Twitter, they announced her getting fired. That's
she's gone.
Wow.
Gone.
Yeah. Hi, Jess.
Girl, you gone.
If they got rid of Angela,
go ahead, Juan.
If they got rid of Angela Yee, you knew they were going to get rid of her, man. Angela Yee was, she, Charlemagne, and Envy. They were like the original trio, in my opinion. Like if they were getting rid of Angela Yee, you knew they were going to get rid of Jess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and she wasn't funny. She wasn't funny to me.
She's never been funny.
She's never been funny, but for whatever the case may have been, she's pretty straight up. She tells it how it is. I'll give her that. But talking about this kid, the brain cancer, his hair not being in the way that you feel it should be. I mean, he's 13 years old. We've heard his story. He's had brain surgery 13 years of his 13-year-old life. Okay.
You know
So
what he
whatever
would
it
say
looks
to her?
like.
You know what he would say to her? You better watch your bumper.
R.I.P. Hey, Latino, I saw it. He was
You better watch your bumper.
Yeah, you better watch your bumper. I'm coming after you. And even on that whole little review that they did on Breakfast, I didn't see the whole thing. I saw clips here and there, and I'm just like, gosh, you guys, y'all are saying that they're not black, right? Because they're Republican, had on the Texas shirt, cowboy hats, and whatnot. I don't think a lot of people outside of Texas understand Texans.
No, they don't.
It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, this, that, or the third. Hey, listen, Texans, we're very proud folks. The stereotypes, we'll give it to you. You'll see certain things in certain places, but
matters if you're a white or a black person.
well, not in Texas, not in Texas. We're all pretty much the same.
Texas,
So. It's just essentially it's the Texas thing. It doesn't matter your race.
Texas, so I know that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if you're from Stop 6, Southside, Eastwood, Oak Cliff, South Dallas, Decatur,
Odessa,
DeSoto, listen,
Garland, Farmers Branch,
all of them. Listen to me.
San Antonio,
Fairfield,
You
San Antonio,
Farmers Branch,
Bulverde.
super far. You in Houston, you in every which ward. Listen to me. There's never going to be. This is me as a black. There's never going to be anywhere that you go in Texas with Texans where you do not find black Texans. Hey, listen, cowboy boots, cowboy hats, belt buckles, spurs. We're all in it. All right.
What's the chant? What's the chant, Portia? When the stars shine bright.
The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
You got to do it again. Do it again. You got to do it again. Do it again.
Oh, 12th man. Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
No, Portia's turn to go into rap.
Absolutely. And don't you guys ever forget it. I mean, it's a great state with a lot of pride, and that's just kind of how we are here. And so whenever they were on the Breakfast Club saying, oh, they're not black, they're not this, they're not that, whatever, seeing that this is like a Republican voting family. Down here, Texas hasn't been a red stronghold for all of these years just because of white folks. It's just like, okay, guys, let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. This is just how we vote here. No matter the household, it's majority red because that's how we vote. That's what we do. And so, Just Hilarious talking about it, and Just Hilarious talking about his hair, as well as Charlemagne.
Portia, can you show some of that military strength on the border too? And the CIA is down there running drones and everything on the side of the
Quite
Mexican
frankly,
border.
12 man.
There's a big militarization down there.
Yes, if I don't tonight, because I think that.
Well, maybe save that one for next time. There's a big deployment down there on the border, and we are going to get these
I told you guys I wasn't
guys.
guys.
We're going to bomb the cartel.
Yes,
Juan,
really
have you
love
heard about the missing Patel in the Dominican Republic?
There's a guy from Iowa I saw that just got hauled off into the Dominican court like 4 hours ago. Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy, bro. It's been like what? The 13th day today.
45
they're not
days
playing any
now.
games, not with her. So
They're going after those crooks.
Yeah, from what I
they
heard.
might have thought.
From what I heard,
They might have thought it would have
the
been
Indian government and the American government is now involved.
And that's the thing, Portia. I mean, John Paul, I like that guy. I love him to death. That's the part that I don't think he understands. The thing is look, you have these enclaves, for example, like in Mexico, for example, there's Puerto Vallarta, there's Monterrey, there's Cancun or what have you. In the Dominican Republic, there's Rosario, there's what is the other one, Santo Domingo, the capital, or what have you. There's
Santo Domingo, Punta
Cana after they clean that up. But the thing is the rule is that he doesn't understand is Americans. Yeah, they feel relatively safe down in these places because the unwritten rule is you don't touch Americans. Like those black people that got killed, those people that got killed 5 minutes from me. Real quick, I'm sorry, Latinos. Those people that got killed from me, those people that got killed from not too far from me. The thing was the FBI hacked the cartel cell phones. That's why the cartel were like, "Hey, look, we're turning over our guys that did this shit," because like they had hacked into the phones and their lawyers. Well, they were already getting the smoke. Like their lawyers were like, delete these messages, but it was already too late. Like we already captured the messages.
Problems, man.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, dude, we're sorry, we killed some innocent people. Here are the motherfuckers that did it, right?
But I'm gonna tell you something that you hit a nerve just now, right? So
I'm sorry. Really quick, I don't even think that made national news.
I mean, it started making headway.
It was just like 2 days ago. The cartel was like,
no.
No,
they made the national news.
Ahead and whatever y'all. whatever y'all want to do with them, because this is not something that's uncommon. It's just like once you do something like that, it's just like we're just gonna go ahead and hand you over. They don't care about life and death or anything like that. Anyways, no matter if they're a part of their group or not.
Well, they made the national news. I can tell you because I was in Matamoros when that went down, and it was funny. I was literally in that spot 15 minutes before what went down. So I go back to the bridge to come back, and when I came back, I got my my American cell phone signal, and my phone blew up. My girlfriend at the time, she was calling. She's like, "Hey, are you okay, amor?" And I'm like, "I'm okay. What's going on?" And they're like, "You don't know what happened?" And she sent me the video. Then my brother's calling me, my father's calling me from Ohio and in North Carolina, like, "Are you okay?" And then I get that little email from the State Department, level 4 travel advisory, don't go to Matamoros. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I look at the video and I'm like, whoa.
I remember
it was
shit
bad.
when they killed
but they did it to them
from the time they hang a bunch of people from the bridge there. Was that from that time?
We're talking about the time when
no,
they killed
12th, man.
those
This
people
happened.
in the SUVs, bro, in the Tahoe.
Yeah, no, this happened 2 years ago in the van, in the van. But no, 12th, man, that happened 2 years ago.
Even more
So the thing was
than the one I was talking about.
So the thing was there was so much heat on them. That's the thing. You don't touch Americans. And Portia, you know this because you there are Mexicans from my area that live in your neck of the woods, right? They were so pissed off because there are people in Mexico that are missing for like decades. They found these people, the dead bodies and the alive people, within like 4 days, and the comments flooded like,
bro.
And they're like, and the Mexican citizens that disappeared, what?
Juan, looking in
they were
DR,
pissed.
in DR in this situation with this young girl, bro. Like from what I'm hearing, the police is getting to the point where they don't even want to deal with this shit because they're both American.
For
like,
the same reason.
Like,
yeah, for the same reason.
So they both
we
American, and they're
we
like,
need to
they don't
capture
even
this
wanna-
guy. We need.
You know what I mean? And I'm just
We don't
like,
want
that's
another
crazy,
Natalie
bro.
Holloway on our situation. Exactly. And yeah, no, that guy in the Dominican Republic, Latinos, dude, they hauled his ass off with a quickness.
He's not even arrested.
And dear Senator Biden, you are a
Oh
traitor.
no, he's arrested.
and
It's an
you're
administrative
still
arrest, but he's
John F.
arrested
Kennedy.
for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I mean they retained his passport.
Are you
Yeah, he can't leave the island. He's done.
Sleepy, Portia.
Oh no, I'm just looking up like the most recent news, like with the JFK files, like JFK.
They found anything. But it's too soon, Portia.
JFK warned that Joe Biden was a traitor to the United States before he was killed. Listen,
No. That wasn't
these-
JFK. That was Junior.
JFK
Look at when that letter.
Jr.
Yeah, that was JFK Jr. He warned about that in 1994, and 5 years later, same month, what happened to his airplane in 1999? Man, our government is fucking evil.
Yeah.
And wasn't he running against Hillary? If I remember, he was going to.
No, Junior.
put the
No, he
hat-
was running his magazine line. No, he was running his magazine line. That was it.
Joe Biden. So the last thing that I'll share with you guys, because I don't think that John is still. I think he left. I guess I wasn't. I know, like my spirit, my energy. It's kind of like not what you guys are used to seeing. It's just because I wasn't expecting to be involved in a conversation. However, we do have Dan Bongino, and let me see. So I will show you guys this one, and then we'll wrap it up here because it is 10:53. I need to go to bed, and all those good things. And maybe possibly I'll do another news thing like this. But if I do another one, I want you guys to know, like, I don't really want to talk. I just want to pull it up, but I know it's kind of hard to do that and leave you guys up here. Like, can I talk? Can I not? I just kind of want you guys to be like, okay, hey, I'm up on the panel. Whatever it is you want to say, whatever it is you want to talk about, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. So we're going to hear from Dan Bongino here. Let's see. shout out to Dan Bongino. You know, he's been doing the work of the Lord for very many years. And to see him in this position is just like, you know what, Dan, shout out to you.
I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna be in the chat.
Shout out to you. Thank you, Latino. After this, because this one is like 3:56, we'll listen to this and then we'll shut it down. And then Stanley will be coming up soon. Tomorrow we will have Gone Trucking with HB2N. I am most sure that John Galt will be up there with him. But we'll have Gone Trucking for the next couple of days. And then on the 21st, we'll have the morning roast, what you guys have been seeing here for the last few days. So let's get into this.
Portia, doesn't the morning road kind of conflict with Gone Trucking a little bit?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that it does conflict with it. It's just that, I mean, I know that you guys look forward to Gone Trucking and y'all just want to have, like, you know, HB as the face. But the morning roast will happen whenever Universal has time, you know. So you guys got Friday, you got Monday, you got Tuesday. Yeah, so you
they don't do a panel portion.
Yeah, no, they do not. So for what they got going on with their show, that's what they do. But tomorrow, tomorrow it will be Gone Trucking, and you know what? I don't want to speak for HB. He can speak for himself whenever he comes up, you know, on whether or not, you know, he wants a panel or however it is that he wants to do it. But I'm sure he'll have a panel. So we will be back. So we'll have Stanley versus the world, of course. Shout out to Stanley. I love you, Stanley. We'll have Stanley versus the world, and after Stanley versus the world, it will be Gone Trucking tomorrow with HB2N.
Everyone loves Stanley's perspective.
Of course. I love Stanley. I just do. I can't help it. So let's see what Dan Bongino is saying.
He have the facts on his side. That's the deal.
Well, you know, you and Stanley, y'all, you know how y'all do. You know how y'all do what y'all do when you do, right? So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to go ahead and shut it down afterwards. So thank you guys for tuning in for the astronauts landing and all of the other updates on the news. Thank you, 12th Man, for joining. Had it not been for you, I would have just stayed in the back the whole time. Thank you, 12th Man.
On YouTube.
Thank you much. And guys, if you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Once the video ends, you know, just stay. Leave a comment in the chat. You know, even if you just put a thumbs up or anything, you ain't even got to type nothing special. Please do that. And whenever you come back in the morning or any other time, please send love and appreciation to HB2N, John Galt. I have to give all of my many praises and thanks to John Galt, because if it wasn't for John Galt seeing what he saw in myself as well as HB, you guys, y'all wouldn't really have us, you know what I'm saying? But we're here because of John Galt and his vision. So shout out to John Galt. Get Crack. I miss him all the time. I miss Crack all the time. Shout out to Crack. Please be sure to check out Charting the Course with Get Crack. One of my most favorite intros that I've made. 12th Man is in it because Crack is sleeping. For those of you that have been here with us since day one, y'all already know, you know, the labor of love, everything that we've put into it, you know, from the beginning, and me and Crack staying up, I staying up, trying to take turns. He sleep or I'm asleep, but y'all ain't caught me snoring, okay? Yeah. Snore, amen. Y'all ain't caught me snoring, but you know what? Here you go. Whatever you got. And he was knocked out. I had already fell asleep, but back in the beginning of us. For those of you that have been here and you haven't left us, and for all of you that are new, we are eternally grateful for you all being here with us. Y'all are the best audience. It doesn't get any better than you guys. We have the wonderful and amazing Stanley Cross. I know he makes a lot of you folks mad. I get it. I understand, but it's Stanley. A lot of you know Stanley, and if you can't handle the heat, you got to get out the kitchen. You got to get out the kitchen. Okay, that's just kind of what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Shout out to Stanley Cross. I'm trying to see here. Where is it at? Where is it at? Oh, there it goes. Shout out to Crack and 12th Man. One of my favorite intros. One of my most favorite intros. Crack sleeping. It's we are in March 18th, 2025, my time. Here in a few months, it'll be our year anniversary. And I'm a girl. I'm the girl. I'm the lady of the channel. And those things are sentimental to me. But I am so grateful. I'm so thankful for all of you. I know you guys haven't seen me. I'll be like, where's Portia? Y'all be sending me emails. It's just like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm not dead. I'm still here. I'm just in the background. So just because I came up tonight, because 12th Man was just up there, and I'm like, oh God, oh 12th Man. I don't want you to be alone. I'm still here, folks. So I might come up every now and then here and there. You guys know the topics that I like to cover. I'm politicking with Portia. I do not foresee myself doing another politicking with Portia anytime soon. You guys just got a special edition today, just because of the astronauts landing. And, they came home finally. But for all of you that hit the link, I do appreciate all of you. All of you guys, y'all are so great. I can't say it enough. But let's check out Crack's intro for those of you that have not seen it.
Get Crack. Wake up, motherfucker.
That's the snoring that you heard. That's Crack snoring. That's Crack snoring on the panel.
Get Crack. Wake up, motherfucker.
Wake up, motherfucker. No, that is so funny to me. I love it. I love it. I love it. John Galt, truth be told, John probably went to sleep. I won't hold you guys. He probably actually went to sleep. I know I said I was going to play Dan Bongino, but I'll save that for another time. I might just link it in the community post. So you guys, please be sure to follow us on the Urban Landlord Clips. So it'll be all the clips from the channel, but don't worry, the clips will also be here at the main channel. Check out the community post. I'm going to be posting like something from Trump or something political in the community post every day. And yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit it. Just hit it. It would be great. And please come back, turn on your notifications, all of the notifications, because there's always something going on over here. Okay. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss Stanley. You don't want to miss Gone Trucking. You don't want to miss Now New, The Morning Roast, and John that John Galt, urban landlord John Galt, him doing his thing, and all of the other really great things that we have here. Maybe soon we will be incorporating karaoke back into the show. That'll be up to me and how I feel about it. But I know you guys love karaoke. And please do forgive me for not being here for you guys for that. But I am so glad you are here tonight. And I look forward to seeing all of you here for Stanley's show, Gone Trucking, and whatever else happens tomorrow. So let's give a shout out and an applause to you great people. Y'all are the best audience that we could ever ask for or imagine. So I will bid you all adieu. Good night. Thanks for being here. Come back. And of course, as always, we will be back like we never left, because we never do. Good night to all of you beautiful people. We will see you on the next one. Bye.
Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. Beyonce.
Stop. Carry on.
Dance party with Beyonce. Beyonce. 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 Hold up. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Beyonce.